On the nights the rain came sideways, the county's radio traffic always sounded thinner, like the storm ate the middle out of people's words. Elena cupped a hand around her headset anyway, the way she always did when it got loud. The dispatch room was a rectangle of fluorescents and coffee rings, 3 consoles facing a wall of maps stitched together with pushpins. A clock hummed above the whiteboard where last shift had scrawled, "Flood watch through 3 a.m." beside it. Someone had drawn a smiley face with XS for eyes. "County 911, what's your?" A whisper, not even whole, sliced across Elena's greeting. "Please." Her fingers froze on the keyboard. "This is 911. Can you tell me where you are?" Static shivered. The line wasn't dead. She could hear something. Wipers, maybe, rubber squealing across glass, counting a rhythm behind hard rain. Then the whisper again, higher, trembling. He put his hand. A rush of breath, like the phone had been turned toward the caller's chest. A thump. Far off, a door chime dinged and dinged like a car door ajar. "Stay with me, okay? What's your name?" Elena clicked the window to force a phase 2 location. The tower triangulation needed a few seconds to chew. Seconds always felt immoral at this console. I can't talk," the voice said. "A girl? 10? 12? He said. The line went quiet except for rain and a low engine idle. Elena swallowed and slid a sticky note to the center of her pad. Open line, female JUV. The mapping app bloomed into a circle that pulsed near State 19, between markers 39 and 43. No house icons. No businesses. That stretch was pasture and failing fences and one old way station nobody used anymore. "Okay, listen," she said softly, like you talk to a skittish dog. "If you can't talk, can you press any button on your phone? 1 beep for yes, 2 for no." Silence. Then, a faint click. 1. "Good. I'm going to send help. Are you in a car?" Another click. 1. "Is someone with you?" A long pause that scraped nerves. 2. "Okay. You're alone. Are you hurt?" Rain. Wipers. A breathy sob she could feel in her throat. 1. Elena's left hand slid reflexively to the channel button. "Unit 12, Unit 27, copy of suspicious circumstances, possible juvenile injured, State 19, vicinity mile marker 41. Storm conditions." Unit 12. Deputy Klein came back, voice gravelly with too much coffee and not enough sleep. "En route from County Road 6. Wipers hissed through his mic. "What's the call?" "Open line. Female juvenile. Confirms injured alone, in a vehicle. No voice ID yet." Elena glanced at the map, then at the whiteboard. "Flood watch. We've got a deadweight station by 42. Might be nearby. 10-4. The whisper returned, closer to the mic now, like the girl had tucked the phone under her chin. "He said I have to be quiet. He said if I make noise." Elena leaned closer to her screen, as if proximity could glue the line together against the storm. "You're doing great. Can you look around? Do you see any signs? A number? A building?" A wet hiccup. "Blue. A blue sign. How number?" "Numbers matter." She kept her voice steady, the way the academy taught, calm as a rope you throw to drowning people. 4-1, the girl said, almost apologizing. "It's my shoes are wet. He pulled me out and then he pushed me back in and I think my tooth is loose." Elena's hand shook once, then stilled. She typed quickly, "Blue guide sign, MM41. Okay. Help is minutes away. Lock your doors if you can. Are you in the front seat or the back?" "Back." "Is there a child lock on?" Elena hated asking. The answers mattered. "Yes." "Can you see headlights behind you?" Elena's eyes flicked toward the windows. Beyond the glass was only their own reflection, her own drawn face mirrored over maps. A beat. "No." "Any in front?" Another beat. Another 1 beat. "Klein. County, I'm passing 38. Road's a river. Tell her to keep that door locked. Elena pressed the transmit. She's listening, Unit 12. She returned to her caller. What's your name, sweetie? A breath, then a word as thin as thread. Maya. Hi, Maya. I'm Elena. I won't hang up. The line crackled. Somewhere close to Maya's phone, a deep shape moved, boot on gravel. And then, close enough to make Elena's heart bruise a rib, a man's voice, easy and patient. We talked about the rules, Maya. The call went dead. The absence rang louder than the storm for a full second. Elena stabbed redial, knowing the odds. Voicemail. She copied the number, pasted it into the ALI/ANI fields, shoved the stale coffee away, and pulled a fresh page from the printer for a running log. Rain pounded the dispatch center's roof like gravel thrown by a giant hand. Klein, be advised, she said, voice low. Male voice on the line before disconnect. Sounded close. Copy, he said, softening his siren. Approaching 40. Any other calls in the area? Elena split her screen and searched the last hour. A stall reported near mile 37, a green sedan with hazards on the shoulder. A false alarm about a downed line by County 9. Nothing else hugging the 40s. She clicked the State Patrol channel. Highway County. You got any units near R41? Highway 3, came the response. I'm tied up with a wreck at the creek. I can break loose in 10. Copy. She slid back to Klein. It's just you for a minute. Wouldn't be my first date with a storm. He muttered, and she heard him roll down a window, let the sky in. Eyes peeled. Elena tried Maya again. Straight to voicemail. She backtracked to the phone company lookup, forced an E911 update, watched it pin, then wobble, near the old way station's access road. She felt that old anger claw. Cell towers were built for daytime, for clear weather and simple tragedies. Nights like this, they swallowed people. Unit 27. Came a new voice. Jessup, younger, always sounded like he was apologizing for something. I can break from the jail run in 5. Who we looking for? Elena kept her eyes on the map. Juvenile female, name Maya. Injured, alone, back seat. Child locks engaged. Male heard on the line enforcing rules. Possible way station vicinity. Jessup's breath caught, almost imperceptible. She heard him picture it. She knew the instant he saw his kid sister or some neighbor girl in that back seat. 10-4. I'm rolling. Klein, approaching 41. Klein reported. I'll check southbound shoulder first. Elena listened to the road pour itself through his mic. She knew that stretch. The concrete spit you out of a shallow S-curve right before the marker, guardrail chewed and bent from years of brakes misjudged on wet nights. You got eyes on the way station turnoff? Stand by. Tires sloshed. Yeah. Gates open. Elena didn't realize she'd stood until she felt her knees tighten. The dispatch center looked suddenly larger, the empty chairs beside her accusatory. Any vehicles visible? Negative. Just the old platform and a nest of cones. Hold up. The radio went quiet in the wrong way, a quiet that pressed on Elena's eardrums. Unit 12 status? Had a reflection, he said finally. My lights caught something under the overhang. Going to take a closer. A new call flashed at the edge of Elena's screen before he finished. Unknown number. Same sector. She answered, throat dry. County 911. A woman's voice, brittle and angry. There's someone banging on my back door. I told y'all when the creek floods, we get strangers. You send someone up here right now. Ma'am, what's your address? Elena flicked to her ally. It populated fast. A farmhouse off County Road 10, the gravel lane that hooked under State 19 near the way station. The woman didn't wait. He's dripping all over the porch. Tarp or something around his shoulders. He keeps saying his truck's stuck and his phone's dead. I told him that's not my problem. He's pounding now. My husband isn't home. Elena's mouth went cold. Stay away from the door. Is it locked? It's locked. I'm not an idiot. He's trying the knob. Klein, Elena said, voice clipping. Be advised, possible subject on foot approaching residences off County 10. Caller reports a man under a tarp claiming he's stuck. Don't go hands on solo. Copy, Klein said. I'm turning out of the station. I'll punch down 10. He sucked his teeth. And County? That reflection under the overhang? Looked like a booster seat. Elena's fingers hovered over her keyboard, then moved of their own accord. Booster seat underway station overhang. It landed on the log like a small bomb. The words were too specific to be comforted by doubt. Ma'am, she said into the farmhouse line, I'm sending a deputy to you. Do not open that door for any reason. If you can, get to an interior room and turn off lights. If you have a dog, put it on a leash to keep it quiet. I've got a Boston Terrier. The woman snapped. He's not quiet. That's fine. Keep him with you. Elena clicked back to Maya's number, called again. Voicemail. She tried a different tack, a carrier ping request through their state portal. It dragged storm slow. On her third glance up, the wall clock read 11:19. She could feel the night's spine stretching toward its bad hour, the slump between midnight and 1 when drunks slid off bar stools and secrets decided to act. Highway 3 en route, the state voice said in her ear. ETA 6 to your 10. Copy. Elena's cursor clicked reflexively. She opened a second map, a layer-only dispatch used, a patchwork of old incidents geocoded by interns 2 summers ago. She typed MM41 and watched red dots bloom for a mile in each direction, a stalled pickup last October, a flat tire 3 weeks ago, a suspicious vehicle, from 2 winters back, complaint unfounded. She zoomed out. The state was a constellation of worry, but there were clusters that always made her palms sweat. 41 wasn't dense like some, but it wasn't empty. She selected the suspicious from 2 winters back. A note popped, caller reports sedan with flares behind it. When passerby offered help, male subject stated, already resolved, in odd tone. No license. No plate captured. No callback. She clicked back further, 10 years, 15. The data thinned to dots that left room between them for stories. County. Klein again. At County 10. I've got a front porch light across a field. Can't see the subject yet. I'm cutting my lights to approach slow. Copy. Ma'am, my deputy is near your driveway, Elena told the woman. The banging in the background of that call had changed shape, slower now, deliberate. He's in a marked unit. Blue uniform, hat. Do not go to the door until he knocks and announces. The woman made a small, mutinous sound. If this man smashes my glass, get to the bathroom with your dog. Elena softened. I'm with you. Jessup came on. Passing 39, rolling hard. His voice had that too fast top end men got when they were trying to outrun the picture in their head. Elena's carrier ping finally returned. Maya's phone last hit a sector that covered the way station road and the shoulder from marker 40.2 to 41.6. The triangle was broad, fat with uncertainty, but it put a river of rain between any good hope and her stomach. County? Klein again, voice low. I got eyes on the porch. What do you see? Subject's got a tarp over him like a cape. Lean, tall. Boots. He's got one hand on the knob, like he's not in a hurry to turn it, just trying to feel it out. He's talking, but the door is thick. Elena clenched her jaw. Advise when you make contact. Jessup is 2 out. I'm going to spotlight him. A click. County, he's not reacting to the light. He's holed up. Klein's breath fogged the mic. He's got kids' stickers on his coat. One of those puffy unicorns. The farmhouse woman's dog chose that moment to bark, yipping staccato in the background. The banging stopped. In Elena's ear, Klein cursed softly. He heard it. Do not approach alone, Elena said. Wait for Jessup. Announce from cover. Klein's radio popped as he keyed up for his outside voice. Sheriff's office, he bellowed across the storm. Step away from the door. Let me see your hands. Silence. Then the sound of boots on wet boards. A voice answered, so calm it prickled Elena's scalp. Officer, I'm stuck. That's all. Truck slid near the scale house. Phone died. I knocked because I saw a light. That's all. Hand, Klein said even. Palms out. Boots again, 1 step left, 1 step right, as if the man considered the geometry of the request. Can I hold my tarp with one hand? It's raining. Hand, Klein repeated. Then we'll talk tarp. Elena wanted to be out there and wanted, just as deeply, to be nowhere near, because sometimes the radio let you believe you controlled the distance. She dragged a finger across the map again, the way station tiny and stubborn under an endless storm. A new icon winked at the edge of her screen. Incoming call, blocked. She answered. County 911. Breathing. Slow, interior, like someone under a blanket. Then a voice she recognized from 10 minutes ago, rearranged, steadier. You're the lady from before. Maya? Elena felt every muscle go tight. Maya, where are you? He told me to be quiet, Maya whispered. But he went to the house. He took the car key with him. He said if I ran, I would drown. He said the ditches are deep. Elena's pen dug a crescent into her pad. You did so well calling me back. Can you tell me if you're still by the blue sign? I'm by a big flat thing with a roof, Maya said. It smells like wet pennies. The way station. Elena closed her eyes once. Okay. Can you move at all? Are your hands free? They're sticky, Maya said. Like tape. Klein's voice overlapped in Elena's headset, the way disasters converge. County, subject is complying. Hands visible. Rain hammered every word. Jessup, come up on my left. On your 6, Jessup panted. Elena split her focus like a juggler. Maya, listen to me. I have deputies with a man nearby. If you see a car with lights, blue and red, that's them. That's safe. If you can't move, can you tell me something around you? Smells like pennies. Do you see metal grates? A scale? Are you inside or outside the car? I'm in, Maya whispered, and then, coming close enough that Elena could hear the wet click of her teeth when she swallowed. I think my tooth is cracked. You're brave, Elena said, because it was both true and an oxygen mask. Does your door have a lock? A little button? It does, Maya said. But he pressed it down before. With his thumb. It left a round mark. Elena drew a breath she didn't have time for. Okay. Leave it down. That's good. Can you see out? Just shapes, Maya said. It's foggy. County, Klein boomed, professional again. Subject identifies himself as Travis Beale, says he owns a towing company out of Baker. No wallet, says it's in the truck. He's asking for a ride to his vehicle. Elena flicked through databases with 3 fingers. Beale, Travis returned more than she wanted, a business license for Beale's towing, a website with a stock photo of a flatbed, a traffic ticket 2 counties over last spring. No protective orders. No warrants. The kind of man who would show his driver's license when it helped and lose it in the rain when it didn't. Advise keep him in view, no rides, she said. She didn't add he had a booster seat under a roof that smells like pennies because the rules said hold what you can't prove cleanly. The rules were good until they weren't. Jessup. Sir, do you mind if we take a look at your truck? Beale's voice floated over their mics, friendly as a hardware clerk. Y'all can do what you need. It's 2 minutes back. Maya, Elena said gently. Do you hear anyone near you? Voices? Footsteps? I hear a song, Maya said. Like someone left the radio on in another car. It's a man and a woman singing together, like they're sad on purpose. Elena's eyes flicked to the log. The stalled green sedan at mile 37 had a callback. She pulled it. The caller had said the hazards had stopped flashing by the time Highway 3 cruised past and chalked it as gone. No one had checked the inside. The rain did a good job of covering mistakes. Maya, are there any lights inside your car? A little clock? A glowing ring around the charger? No. Only outside. And, Maya added like a small gift, I smell pine. Like the tree they hang by the window at the car wash. An air freshener. Elena wrote pine odor in block letters. It did nothing for the universe and everything for making her feel like she was threading a needle. I'm going to keep you right here, okay? I'm not hanging up. Okay, Maya whispered. I won't either. Outside, Klein and Jessup's mics filled with movement. We're escorting Mr. Beale to his vehicle, Klein said. Elena's throat tightened. Negative on escort in your vehicle, she said sharply. Foot only, lights on, announce your location every 30 seconds. Copy, Klein said, not arguing but saying he heard her. We're on the shoulder southbound, passing 41.2. Elena took that and built a little paper raft out of it in her head. They are here, they are visible. Highway 3 update? She asked. 2 minutes out, Highway said. Maya, Elena murmured. I'm going to ask a weird question. Are your feet touching anything? Like a bag? A box? A bag, Maya said promptly. It's prickly. Like when you cut onions in the grocery store. Mesh. Onion bag. Elena wrote mesh bag on floor, circled it, wished it meant something she could use now. Okay. That's good information. On the farmhouse line, the woman came back, voice shaky. Are y'all still here? He went off my porch. I can't see where. He's with my deputies, Elena said, and hoped the sentence lived to stay true. Klein to county, Klein breathed. We've reached a flatbed. No cab. Say again, Elena said. Flatbed only. No cab attached. Hook's clean. That's odd as hell to leave out in the rain unless... He stopped himself. It's Beale's. He says he had to unhook when it slid. Jessup whispered, too close to his mic. You ever see a sticker like that before, Sarge? There was a pause. Elena felt the whole night stall on that pause. Then Klein carefully. County, there's a reflective sticker on the bed with a unicorn, like the one on the subject's coat. And I've got a strap. Fresh cut. Frayed ends. Beale's voice smooth. I told you, I got in a hurry. A driver needed me down by the creek. Ma'am on the phone, you got her, right? She told me not to wait on her porch. I didn't. I did what she said. Elena looked at the clock again. 11:31. The rain sounded like applause for something she didn't want to see win. Highway 3, turn on to County 10, she ordered. Meet units 12 and 27 by the flatbed. Use rear approach. Watch your footing. Maya, she whispered, I need you to take one slow breath. Can you tell me if your window is fogged on the inside or the outside? Inside, Maya said. Then, very small. Is he going to open my door? You're locked, Elena said. And I'm here. Maya, another voice said suddenly, buttery and close, leaking into Elena's headset as if the phone had moved without the girl's consent. A man's voice. We talked about the rules. You keep the phone on the floor. The call didn't drop. The storm just got louder. County, Klein grated, the radio no longer clean. Subject is making statements as if speaking to a juvenile. Where is Highway? On approach, Elena said, and in the same breath, calm as water, to Maya's line. Maya, you do not have to answer him. Put the phone by your leg, but keep me where you can hear. You did a good job calling. I found it in the seat crease, Maya said quickly, like a confession she needed to empty out. He didn't see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have nothing to be sorry for, Elena said. She wished she could reach through copper and storm and pluck the fear out of the child's chest like a splinter. Jessup whispered, Highway's here. 3 of us. Form a triangle, Klein said. Beale stays in the apex. Hands visible. We're going to walk the shoulder back toward the scale house and then the stall at 37. 37's got a report on it, Elena said. Green sedan earlier. Highway chalked it as gone. Check it anyway. Copy. Beale spoke again, and now Elena could hear how he did it, how he softened the edges of his words to make them seem hand-sanded. Officer, I told you, I don't have her. I saw a car down there, sure. I knocked because I was stuck. People get mean in storms. That woman had a dog. That's all. Elena pulled Beale's business listing up a second time, hoping the screen would offer a moral. Photos of a red flatbed with a smiling man in a company polo. Beale himself or a stock actor. It was hard to tell. An address on Baker's Main Street. A phone number that matched the caller ID on nothing she had. Maya, she said softly. This keeps you safe, keep the lock down. If anyone tries your handle, don't move. Don't make noise. I am listening. I hear boots. Maya breathed. Klein's radio crackled. The sound of 3 sets of boots in wet gravel matched her whisper exactly, and the hair rose on Elena's arms. Approaching Scale House, Klein said. We've got light reflection in the overhang. Highway, take left. Jessup, cover rear. Elena held her breath through the wet shuffle, the storm scraping its nails across the metal roof and the mics. She had a strange, detached thought that rain was the cruelest accomplice. It turned every sound into camouflage. County, Jessup said, a tremor barely contained. I've got a booster seat under the overhang, like you said. Pink. Buckle loose. And Highway cut himself off. Deep inhale. When he spoke again, the professionalism was back, forced into place. I've got a shoe. Elena's knuckles had turned white around her pen. Describe. Kid's sneaker. Glitter on the side. Wet. No foot in it. Bag nearby? Elena asked. Mesh? Affirm. Highway's beam of light swung. She could hear it in his voice. Orange mesh produce bag. Empty. Beale laughed. Not loud. Not unkind. A sound people made when a magician pulled a coin from behind a kid's ear. You boys having a scavenger hunt? Elena didn't speak. Klein did evenly. Mr. Beale, you're going to keep those hands where I can see them. We're detaining you while we sort this. That legal? Beale asked lightly. It is tonight, Klein said. Maya, Elena whispered, because the only thing inside the console that felt like the right size to hold was the child in the fogged car. You said the radio was playing? Can you hear the words? It's a commercial now, Maya said. About a pharmacy. The man has a nice voice. Okay, Elena said, absurdly grateful for that stupidity. That helps me know there's power somewhere near you. Boots scraped. Metal creaked. The men on the shoulder moved. We're moving toward 37, Klein said. Mr. Beale ahead of us. Do not put him ahead, Elena snapped before she could soften it. He will run you through your own light. Keep him between. Klein didn't argue. Adjusting. They walked. The storm filled in their words like grout. The dispatch room felt 1,000 miles wide and the size of Elena's headset all at once. And then Jessup said, almost to himself, the way people talk when they think the night might forgive them if they whisper. County, we've got eyes on the green sedan. Describe, Elena said. The word was a blade. It cut her sentence into what she could use. Hazards off, Jessup reported. Driver's side window cracked a hair. No visible movement. Doors closed. He swallowed. There's a pine tree hanging from the mirror. Elena closed her eyes for exactly half a second. Approached passenger side. Angled. Watch the ditch, it's flooded. Klein. Beale, keep those hands high. Beale. You got a lot of rules. I like rules. Keeps things tidy. On me, Klein said, and she could hear them fan out in the rain. Highway's beam lifted. Jessup's breath shortened. Elena pictured the passenger door handle, the flashlight beam slipping past its chrome to chew the interior up into slices. She gripped the arm of her chair until she felt the cheap plastic flex. Maya, she whispered, can you hear any car doors near you? Any voices? Footsteps, Maya said, and she sucked a thread of air. Please tell them to be careful. We are, Elena said, and would have said it even if it wasn't true. Jessup spoke again, voice steadier. Passenger side, fogged. I'm clearing a circle. Rubber squeaked on glass. Rain needled. I've got. He stopped. The radio carried the geometry of a throat tightening. I've got a pair of hands. Small. On the floorboard behind the passenger seat. Hands moving? Elena asked. Jessup's reply came thin. Yes. Thank God. Yes. Maya, Elena said, hard punching. Are there people by your car now? Yes. Maya breathed, and for the first time, there was something else in her voice besides fear, thin as wire, bright as foil. Are they the blue and red lights? They are. Elena stood up without noticing. You're about to hear them. They're good men. Keep your lock down until they say your name. What's your name? Maya, she whispered, a tiny smile under the shiver. Maya, Jessup said through the radio, in his outside voice but without the bark. Maya, this is Deputy Jessup. We're going to open your door, okay? You're safe. Metal clicked. Plastic resisted. Child locks sneer at good intentions in the rain. Child lock engaged, Jessup said, controlled. I'm coming around to driver's side. Klein, lower. County, Beale's smiling. Elena swallowed hard. Highway, eyes on the subject. Jessup, breach if needed. Copy. There was the hollow pop of a window punch, then the rattle of safety glass letting go. Rain poured itself into the car's small, stale air. Jessup grunted as he reached across. I've got her. Arms are taped. Hands free. She's whimpering but talking. Hi, sweetheart. I know. We've got you. In Elena's ear, Maya's breathing turned from the tunneled whistle of fear into something messy and real. It's cold, she said. You're safe. Elena told her, even as, outside, Klein's voice sharpened to a point. County, subject is backing up, inching. Do not advance, Elena said. Do not. Beale's voice cut clean through everything. He laughed again, quiet. You ever watch a flood carry a log? It don't look like much until it knocks your legs from under you. Boots. Scrape. A grunt. Highway swore. Jessup's mic thumped as he transferred Maya to his left arm. Climb! The radio went white noise for one long, mean second. When it cleared, Klein was breathing hard. Subject fled southbound on foot, crossing the median. Hands still visible. He's fast. Do not pursue into the ditch, Elena said, and heard herself from far away, as if she were playing dispatch in a classroom. Secure the child. Hold perimeter. Highway, call for a K9 and a second unit from Baker. Already did, Highway said, already running anyway from the sound of it. County? Jessup's voice came soft. She's okay. She's shaking. There's blood on her lip. We're wrapping her up. Maya's line rustled. Is the lady still there? I'm here, Elena said, and sank into her chair like a diver who had made it back to the surface. You did everything right. I kept the rule, Maya whispered. I kept the lock down. You did, Elena said, and looked at her screen, at the logs, at the constellation of red dots a decade and a half deep. The rain ran down the windows like someone had drawn bars with a finger. The night wasn't done with them. It rarely was. County, Klein said, hauling air. I'm tracking Prince at the median. He knew where to step. He's not slipping. He paused. He's done this before. Elena glanced back at Part 2's old note on her screen, the one from 2 winters ago with the odd tone and the flares behind a sedan. She selected it and dragged a copy to the current log, like a flag planted in wet ground. Hold what you've got, she said. We're going to widen this search. Outside the dispatch glass, the storm hissed its private secret. Inside, Elena rolled her shoulders, flexed her fingers, and started to build the shape of the middle of the night. Elena switched the call with Maya into record only, letting Jessup's radio carry the girl's small noises into the room. She didn't want to break the thread between them, but she needed her hands free. She opened a new incident file, active pursuit/suspect at large. Her cursor hesitated a fraction of a second before typing the name Beale, Travis. Names made people solid in a way you couldn't undo. Climb, she said, keeping her tone flat. Do not enter the tree line. Hold perimeter with highway until K9 arrives. I don't want you swallowed in there. Copy, County. He was trying for calm, but his chest was still dragging each syllable uphill. We've got the shoulder blocked with highway's unit. Southbound lanes are waterlogged. He can't have gotten far. He's barefoot now, Highway added grimly. Lost one boot in the mud. He didn't even stop to grab it. That image stuck in Elena's mind, the one boot sitting by the highway like a tooth left in the dark. She forced herself back to her screen. Jessup, she said. Status on Maya? She's alert. Hands taped but circulation's good. No major trauma except a busted lip. I'm loading her into my unit, heading straight for County ER. He paused. She's still holding the phone. Elena softened. That's okay. Tell her the lady on the other end will meet her there, once she can. Maya's faint voice floated through Jessup's mic. You promise? I promise, Elena said into the air, though the girl might not have heard. A fresh call lit up Elena's console, local prefix. She answered. County 911. A man's voice, jittery and raw, filled her ear. Something just ran through my pasture. I swear to God. Two-legged, not four. It's headed toward the levee by the tracks. My cows are spooked, I can barely hold them. Elena's stomach dipped. The levee was a mile south of marker 41, a straight shot if you knew the ground. Sir, stay inside. Deputies are in pursuit. Keep your lights on and doors locked. She flipped channels. Climb, be advised, possible visual southbound toward levee. Caller reports two-legged movement across pasture. That's your suspect. Copy, Klein snapped. We've got the beam. Heading to intercept. Elena's screen blinked again, an officer safety alert. The carrier data on Beale's listed business line had just pinged a new outgoing call, even though he was supposed to have no phone on him. She pulled the record, 1 minute ago, a call to a number in another county. It was marked, business contact. Units, she said carefully. Our suspect may not be alone tonight. Possible accomplice. Hold perimeter tight. Do not break off solo. The room was quiet except for storm static. Then Highway's voice, tight with realization. County, that explains the other sets. Say again. I've got 2 different boot patterns in the mud here. One heavier tread, one lighter. Klein, you seen this? A pause. Then Klein, flat. Confirmed. We've been chasing one ghost while another walked free. Elena's skin prickled. She pulled the old incident note again, the sedan with flares from 2 winters ago. Already resolved, the man had told the passerby. Which meant there had always been more than one voice writing the rules. County, Klein said, we're gonna need more units. And you'd better wake Baker PD. If he's got a partner, they could already be driving loops around us. Elena's cursor hovered over the multi-agency alert. For a heartbeat she thought about the weight of waking up every lawman in 3 counties on a storm night. Then she thought of the booster seat under the overhang. The unicorn sticker on a man's coat. She pressed enter. The siren tone rolled out across the state net like a bell tolling in the rain. And in the background, faint enough that she almost missed it, the farmhouse woman's line reopened without her doing a thing. A breath, ragged. Then her whisper. He's back on my porch. Elena's headset dug into her temples as she snapped to the reopened line. Ma'am, it's 911 again. Stay calm. Is your door still locked? Yes, the woman whispered. But he's different now. He's not knocking. He's just standing. I can hear the water dripping off him. My dog's growling like I've never heard. Stay away from the windows. Elena ordered. Her fingers flew across the console, patching Klein in. Unit 12, suspect possibly returned to County Road 10 farmhouse. Caller reports presence on porch. Secure immediately. Negative. Klein came back, breath sharp. We've got Bill contained southbound by the levee. Hands zip-tied. Highway's got eyes. Whoever's on that porch, it ain't him. Elena's blood iced. Copy. Then we have a second subject at large. The farmhouse woman whimpered, voice breaking. He's humming. Right outside the door. Like a lullaby. Jesus, it's... She cut herself off with a gasp. He just whispered my name. Elena slammed the desk once with the heel of her palm, pulling herself back to calm. Ma'am, take your phone, take your dog, and move to the bathroom. Lock yourself in. Deputies are en route. Do not open the door for anyone until they announce. The woman's footsteps scuffed across linoleum. The Boston Terrier barked, then yelped as the woman shushed it. A door closed, a lock clicked. Her voice returned, muffled. He's trying the knob again. Klein, Elena said. Beale's secure, correct? 10-4. Highway's sitting on him right now. No wiggle room. Jessup cut in, urgency raw. County, I can divert. I've got Maya secure in my back seat, hospital's 5 out. Do you want me to swing the farmhouse first? Elena waited in a flash, seconds on a scale. Maya was alive but bleeding, wrapped in shock like thin ice. The farmhouse woman was one locked door from collapse. No, Elena said firmly. Maya goes straight to ER. Another unit will clear the house. She switched channels. Any Baker PD units copy multi-agency tone? Baker PD 14 here. Came a voice, brisk, awake now. I'm a mile out from County 10 on the west approach. PD 14, respond to farmhouse at 126 County Road 10. Female caller reports male subject on porch. Humming, knows her name. Proceed with caution, possible second suspect. Advise when seen secure. Copy. Lights dark until arrival. The farmhouse woman whispered. He stopped humming. I can't hear him. Maybe he's gone. Elena's jaw tightened. Don't assume that. Stay in the bathroom. The radio crackled again. Klein voice clipped. County, Beale's smiling. He heard your last transmission somehow. He knows we've got a second. Elena's throat went dry. Say again. How could he know? Don't know, Klein said. But he just told Highway, you won't find the one that matters. She makes the rules. In the farmhouse line, a new sound rose, a long, deliberate scrape of something hard dragged across the siding. The woman let out a muffled sob. County, PD 14 whispered over radio. I'm at the drive. Porch light visible. Subject confirmed. Tall, light build, standing by door with head tilted. Can't see hands? Moving in now. Through the farmhouse phone came a sudden thundering on the porch boards, then the dog's furious barking, then silence. County, I've lost visual. PD 14's voice shot high. Subject just stepped off the porch, moving toward the tree line. Elena felt every muscle in her body lock as her pen rolled off the desk. 2 suspects. One humming names, one smiling at restraints. And the storm still hammering down, hungry for cover. She leaned into the mic, voice like steel. All units, perimeter lockdown. No one in or out. Tonight, we're hunting more than one. Elena's console flared with overlapping voices, the kind of chaos that could drown sense if she didn't cut through it. County, PD 14, subject vanished into the trees. Porch clear. Homeowner secure inside. Klein, Beale keeps talking, says we're wasting time. Highway's about to gag him. Jessup, arriving at ER, Maya's being triaged. She keeps asking for the dispatcher. Says she wants the lady to come. Elena raised her voice into the headset, controlled and sharp. All units stand by. One at a time. The radio quieted, uneasy but obedient. PD 14, Elena said. Maintain presence at the farmhouse until backup arrives. Confirm homeowner safe and hold perimeter. 10-4. She's rattled, but okay. Klein Highway, keep Beale contained and silent. No further statements unless he lawyers. He doesn't get to direct the board. Copy, Klein muttered. Jessup, stay at ER with Maya until child services and detectives arrive. Do not leave her side. Understood. Elena exhaled once, a measured release, before opening a fresh incident log titled, Subject 2. She typed, Unknown suspect. Male. Tall, lean. Hums lullabies. Knows names. Last seen entering tree lane near farmhouse, 126 CR 10. Her phone board blinked again. Another call, this one from a driver on State 19. She answered. County 911. A man's voice, low and urgent. I just passed a guy on the shoulder near mile 43. He was waving his arms, like he needed help. But when I slowed, he turned away and started walking into the dark. Didn't look right. You better check. Elena's knuckles tightened. Description? Tall, skinny. Hood pulled up. Barefoot, I think. I didn't hang around to look close. She logged it fast. Possible suspect 2, mm43. Then switch channels. Klein Highway, possible visual southbound, mile 43. Don't redeploy until K9 arrives, but mark it. Copy, Highway said. From Beale's end of the radio came a faint laugh. He must have overheard through their shoulder mics. He likes mile 43. Beale murmured, his words seeping in before they cut him off. That's his mile. Mine's 41. Elena's scalp prickled. 2 men. 2 markers. 2 hunting grounds. She muted their channel and spoke low, almost to herself. We've been driving through their map this whole time. Her screen pinged again. Carrier records. Beale's business number had made not 1 but 3 outgoing calls in the past half hour, each to a different rural prefix. The times lined up with gaps in radio chatter, as though he'd been setting pieces in place. Elena copied the numbers into a search. No listed owners, just prepaid cells. Disposable. County? PD-14's voice cut back in, hushed and tense. I've got movement again, edge of the tree line. I shine, could be deer, but it's tall. Watching the house. Elena's hands hovered above her keyboard. Her screen glowed back with its constellation of red dots, past incidents stretching years, maybe decades. Marker 41. Marker 43. County 10. Patterns. Always patterns. Her headset crackled once more, this time with a voice she didn't recognize, rough and close to the mic, hijacking an open channel. You're making promises you can't keep, dispatcher. Then silence. Elena froze, her breath locking behind her ribs. That voice hadn't come from Beale. She knew his rhythm now, the way he shaved the edges off words. This one was sharper, raw, like gravel dragged over metal. She flicked through channels, checking unit by unit. All cars, confirmed transmission just now. Klein. Not me. Highway. Negative. PD-14. County, that wasn't ours. Sounded patched in. Jessup, quieter. I'm at the hospital. Maya's safe with nurses. Wasn't me either. The line went dead quiet, except for the storm's hiss. Elena's pulse thudded in her ears. Someone out there, subject 2, most likely, had hijacked their net. That meant a scanner, or worse, a stolen radio. Elena typed furiously, subject 2 in possession of radio/scanner. Interference confirmed. Her headset buzzed again, another call, this one anonymous, blocked ID. She almost didn't answer, but protocol forced her hand. County 911. Nothing at first. Then a breath, long and steady, as if someone were testing how close they could get to her ear. Finally, do you know how many rules there are, dispatcher? The same gravel voice. You keep making new ones. But ours were here first. Elena's throat tightened. She muted her mic for half a second, gathering control, then came back unsteady. You're on a recorded line. Law enforcement is en route. A low chuckle bled through the static. That's not a rule. That's a wish. The call ended. County K9 just arrived. Highway reported urgent. We're deploying south of the median. Prints are washing out, but the dog's alerting near the ditch. Copy, Elena said, voice clipped. All units, suspect has radio access. Maintain brevity, no tactical details over open channel. Confirm encrypted channel availability. Client, switching to TAC 2. Elena switched them over, locking her screen to encryption. Still, the unease crawled under her skin. Subject 2 didn't need their details. He just wanted them to know he was listening. Her other board lit with another incoming call, this one from a roadside assistance number. She answered, wary. A woman's automated voice droned. Service request logged at mile marker 43. Vehicle disabled. Assistance en route. Elena frowned. No one had called her line for that. It was a ghost request, routed to bait someone. She checked the timestamp. Filed exactly 60 seconds ago. Too fast, too deliberate. County, she said into TAC 2. Do not approach any vehicles at 43 until verified through me. Possible lure. Klein came back grim. Understood. This is getting organized. Elena's cursor hovered over the log, her screen littered with notes and fragments. Booster seat. Unicorn sticker. Onion bag. Pine tree freshener. Humming at porches. Fake service requests. Radios in strange hands. And beneath it all, one undeniable fact. Beale wasn't lying when he said he had a partner. The farmhouse woman's line buzzed again. She was whispering frantically, breath jagged. He's at the window now. Not the porch, the bathroom window. He's smiling. I can see his teeth through the rain. Stay down, Elena ordered, heart racing. Help is there. Do not move. PD-14 cut in breathless. County, I confirm visual. Subject at bathroom window. Attempting breach. The transmission collapsed into a scream of static, and then, nothing. PD-14, status! Elena barked into the console, but the channel only hissed back at her. Her gut twisted. She forced her voice steady. Klein, highway, radio check. Confirm comms. 10-4, county. Klein came back. Dogs working southbound ditch. We've still got Beale cuffed on the median. What's PD's status? Lost transmission mid-breach. Elena said quickly. Last known, subject at farmhouse bathroom window. Possible assault in progress. She didn't wait for their reply. Fingers flying, she patched through to Baker PD dispatch, voice clipped. Your Unit 14 has gone dark. I need immediate backup to 126 County Road 10. Suspect on scene. Copy, we're dispatching 2 more. Baker replied, tension bleeding through. The farmhouse woman's line buzzed again, and Elena nearly dropped her pen, snatching it open. He's inside, the woman gasped. He's smashed the window. I'm in the tub with the dog. He's crawling. Oh God, he's crawling through like a spider. Elena's pulse slammed. Ma'am, stay hidden. Officers are almost there. Stay quiet if you can. In the background came the Boston Terrier's frantic barking, cut short with a yelp that made Elena flinch. The woman's muffled sobs filled the line. Then another voice bled through the receiver. Low, guttural, wrong. You told her the rules, didn't you? The call cut. Elena stood, chair rolling back, blood roaring in her ears. She slammed her palm against the transmit button. All units, farmhouse breach confirmed. Officer possibly down. Second suspect inside. Respond code 3. For a few seconds the radio became a storm of engines, sirens, clipped acknowledgments. Then highway grim. County, Beale's laughing again. He heard all of that without us telling him. He said. Highway's voice faltered, then hardened. He said she'll learn what happens when rules break. Elena's chest went cold. She flipped back to her call history, the block numbers, the fake service requests, the hijacked radio transmission. This wasn't chaos. This was choreography. And Beale wasn't just a partner. He was the conductor. She pulled up the map again. Mile marker 41, mile marker 43, county 10. 3 points, a triangle. At the center lay the river bend, swollen with storm runoff. Her console pinged, a new 911 call. No ID, no location. She answered with shaking fingers. And a child's voice whispered, not Maya this time, but higher, smaller. He says it's my turn now. The line went dead. Elena's heart stopped for half a beat. A second child. She hadn't dared think it, though the booster seat under the way station's overhang had been screaming at her from the start. She scrambled for the ANI/ALI data, but the call left nothing, no tower, no carrier ID. Like it had never existed. Klein, she snapped. Recheck that booster seat. Did you inventory the area? Any sign of another occupant? Negative, he said, rain hammering through his mic. Just the seat and an empty mesh bag. We cleared the car with Maya, only her inside. Then there's at least one more victim unaccounted for. Elena shot back. We just got a call, child's voice. Female, younger. He has another. Klein swore low. Highway muttered something Elena couldn't catch. The farmhouse woman's line lit again, but this time it wasn't her voice. You keep breaking your own rules, dispatcher, the gravel voice said. We said quiet. You keep shouting. That's strike 2. Elena's blood iced. She forced her tone neutral, the way instructors had drilled it. Control is oxygen. What do you want? A chuckle, rough and wet. Want? No. That's not how rules work. You follow them. Or you pay. Then a sound that didn't belong on a phone line, the creak of wood under weight, as if he'd set the handset down on a table inside the farmhouse. In the background, faint, came the muffled cry of the woman and the squeal of the terrier. County, PD-18 cut in, panting. On scene at farmhouse. Windows busted, signs of forced entry. No visual on suspect. No sign of 14 either. Blood on floor. Elena's pen snapped between her fingers. Secure perimeter. Do not go in alone. Wait for backup before entry. Too late, PD-18 gasped. He's... A shriek of feedback cut the transmission. Elena ripped off her headset, shoved it back on, her chest heaving. All units, farmhouse is hot. Multiple officers compromised. Subject 2 likely still inside with hostages. Klein's voice came through, ragged but firm. County, we've got to divide. Highway can sit on Beale. I'll take the K9 toward the farmhouse. But if there's another kid... There is... Elena cut him off. You find her, Klein. No matter what. He's moving kids like pieces on a board. As if to prove it, another call lit up. No ID again. She answered, bracing. This time, it was the same child's voice as before, trembling but deliberate. He says I'm at the water. He says hurry. The call ended. Elena's gaze snapped to the map, the triangles she'd drawn earlier, marker 41, marker 43, county 10. Dead center, the swollen bend of the river. She keyed the mic, voice flat and iron. Unit 12, your K9 takes you straight to the river bend. Now. The storm outside seemed to roar in agreement, as if it had been waiting for someone to name the next move. K9's pulling south. Klein reported, his voice taut. We're crossing the drainage ditch, dogs alerting hard toward the levee. Copy, Elena said, eyes fixed on the blinking cursor in her log. Her knuckles were pale against the keyboard. Approach with caution. Subject 2 has comms. He'll know you're coming. The farmhouse channel cracked alive, PD-18 again, whispering now. County, I'm inside. House is torn apart. No suspect visual. Found 14's body cam on the floor, strap cut clean. He's down in the kitchen. Breathing but shallow. Elena swallowed bile. EMS en route. Hold position. Do not pursue without backup. But in the background of PD-18's mic came a sound Elena would never mistake. Humming. Low, syrupy, a lullaby bent out of shape. County. 18 hissed. He's still in here, moving room to room. I can hear him humming. Before Elena could reply, Klein's channel cut back in, sharp. County, K9 just hit on something by the river bend. We've got clothing, child's shirt. Pink soaked. Elena's vision swam, but she forced herself steady. Any sign of the child? Not yet, Klein said. Dog straining at the line, wants to pull into the water. Current strong, can't see more than 2 feet out. Her board lit again, another anonymous call. Elena answered without hesitation. The child's voice, weaker now, shivering. He says the water keeps secrets. He says if you don't find me before the song ends, I go with it. Over the line came that humming again, the same broken lullaby PD-18 was hearing in the farmhouse miles away. It was coming from both places at once. Elena's chest went hollow. She switched channels fast. Klein, you don't wait. You get in that river now. I don't care how you get her. Klein didn't argue. The splash of boots hitting current came hot over his mic, followed by the K9's frantic barking. Then Highway's strained voice cut in. County, Beale's reacting. He's thrashing like he can feel what's happening. He's laughing and gagging himself on the zip ties. Says she's under already? Elena's hand shook on the transmit button. Ignore him. Focus on the river. Klein, breathless. Dog's diving. Hold. I've got something. Fabric arm. The radio erupted with shouting, water sloshing, Klein swearing. County, I've got her. She's small, unresponsive, pulling her up now. Elena's knees buckled into her chair, relief colliding with terror. Start CPR immediately. EMS en route. But the farmhouse channel cut back in, overlaid with humming so loud it drowned PD-18's words. And threaded under it, barely audible, another child's cry. Not the one Klein had pulled from the river. A third. Elena gripped the edge of her console until her nails bent back. All units, be advised, there's another child. Not Maya, not the river victim. Third juvenile confirmed. Subject 2 is still active inside the farmhouse. PD-18's whisper shot back, panicked and breathless. County, I can hear her, sounds like an attic space. Boards creaking above me. But he's here too, moving around like he knows I can't place him. The farmhouse phone line reconnected on its own, shrill in Elena's headset. A girl's voice, high and thin. It's dark up here. He locked me in. Please, please. Then, cutting her off, the gravel voice. Every house has rules. Upstairs, downstairs, inside, out. She broke the porch rule. Now she learns the attic rule. The line went dead again. Elena's throat tightened, but she forced clarity into her words. PD-18, do not engage solo. Contain attic access. Backup is inbound. Maintain visual if you can. County, if I wait, she dies. PD-18 hissed. He's toying with her. I can hear the kid crying. Elena. It was Klein now, ragged from exertion. We've got the river girl back. CPR in progress. She's got a pulse. Faint, but it's there. But if 18's about to breach, he needs cover. Highway. Elena snapped. You and K9 secure Beale tighter. Get another pair of cuffs on him. Double chain if you have to. Do not let him slip. He's directing all of this. Copy. Highway said, but under his mic came a muffled sound. Beale, still laughing, gagging words through the restraints. 3 rules, dispatcher. 3 children. You save 2, you lose 1. That's balance. Elena muted her mic and whispered to herself. Not tonight. She pulled up every nearby unit on her CAD, rerouted them with trembling fingers, sheriff's deputies, Baker PD backups, even a state trooper from 5 miles out. She poured them toward County Road 10 like sandbags into a flood. Then PD-18's channel shrieked alive, crash of wood, frantic barking from the terrier, the roar of a shotgun discharging inside a house. County! PD-18 shouted, voice cracking. Suspects in the attic, fast. He moved like a damn animal. He's pulling her. The mic cut off in a burst of static, then reopened just enough for Elena to hear a child scream. And over it all, the lullaby again, this time not hummed, but sung, in a voice so calm it chilled the marrow. "Hush now, little one. The rules are almost done. PD-18, status!" Elena's voice cracked sharp across the console, but only static answered. Her screen bled with red indicators, units converging, storm-snarled roads slowing them. Too many minutes, too much distance. "Klein," she barked. "Leave highway with Beale and the river victim. Take K9, get to that farmhouse now." "On it," Klein grunted. His mic filled with the splash of boots tearing back through ditches. Elena patched to PD-18 again, desperation pressing every syllable. "Hold position, do you copy? Hold position until backup." The channel reopened with ragged breaths. PD-18's voice shook. "County, he's not human. He dropped from the attic like a cat. I fired, I know I hit him, but he laughed. He pulled the girl back up through the hatch like she weighed nothing." "Are you injured?" Elena demanded. "Glass in my arm. Doesn't matter. I can't see him now, only the girl crying above me." The farmhouse phone line lit up once more. This time, no child's voice, only the gravel man. His words came deliberate, almost amused. "You hear how hard they're panting for you, dispatcher? Every time you tell them don't go alone, they do it anyway. Because rules are just stories. And I write better ones." Elena's jaw ached from clenching. "You're not in control. We have your partner. We have the children." A low chuckle. "Two. You have two. That's not all of them. You'll see." The call ended. "County," Klein panted over the TAC channel. "Closing on farmhouse. K9 alerting strong. I hear shots fired from inside. PD backup 2 minutes out. Copy. Coordinate with 18. Suspect may be injured. County." Highway cut in, voice tight. "Update on Beale. He's bleeding from the mouth, don't know how. No one touched him. He's whispering to himself, same song you keep hearing. He's smiling like he knows what 18's seeing." A chill ripped through Elena. They were tethered. One body in cuffs, another in shadows, but bound together like two sides of the same rulebook. Her board flared again, another anonymous call. She stabbed at it. A boy's voice this time, quiet, hoarse, like he hadn't spoken in days. "Please, don't let him put me in the trunk again." Elena's breath caught. "Where are you? Can you tell me what you see?" "I smell gas," the boy whispered. "And metal. And..." He hesitated, as if someone loomed over him. Then a faint click, like a latch closing. The line went dead. Elena's console threw back only silence. Another child. Hidden somewhere else entirely. Her notes blurred before her. Maya. River girl. Attic girl. Gasoline boy. 4 victims. 2 suspects. 1 storm. And only one rule left. Save them all, or lose the night forever. Elena's hand hovered over the transmit switch, her pulse thrumming like it wanted out of her veins. 4 children. 2 predators. 1 storm tightening the noose. She keyed up. "All units, be advised. We have confirmation of a 4th juvenile, male. States he's confined, smells gasoline and metal. Possible vehicle trunk. Location unknown. Repeat, 4 children total." Klein, already breathless, snapped back. "County, I'm breaching farmhouse perimeter. PD-18 is pinned inside. I hear the girl screaming upstairs, attic." "Copy," Elena said. "Maintain officer safety. Units en route." Highway cut in, tone grim. "County, Beale's deteriorating. His lips are purple. He's choking himself on purpose against the restraints. Keeps whispering, 'Check the miles, dispatcher.' That's where the rules live." Elena's gaze snapped to the map wall, the glowing pins along State 19. Mile markers 41 and 43, each with its bloody history. Now gasoline, metal. Could it be another car staged like bait? Her console buzzed again, another unknown call. She hesitated, then answered. The boy's voice again, muffled, weak. It's dark. He says I have to be patient. He says the rain will keep people away. Elena leaned into her mic, fighting to steady her words. You're doing so good. Can you feel if the car is moving? Or is it still? Not moving, the boy whispered. It rocks when the wind blows. Her brain snapped to the obvious. Abandoned vehicle on shoulder, rain pushing it like a cradle. Mile markers, she breathed. He said check the miles? Elena pulled the old dispatch logs, scanning for flagged vehicles. There, mile 45, reported earlier tonight, abandoned white sedan with hazards. Marked cleared when unit drove by. Her gut iced. All units, possible fourth victim at mile 45 in abandoned white sedan. Hazards previously reported but dismissed. Secure immediately. Highway. County, we're stretched thin. I can't leave Beale. Trooper 3 en route. Came a crisp state patrol voice, fresh into the net. I'm 5 out from 45. Will confirm. Copy, Elena said. Back on the farmhouse channel, chaos erupted. Klein's mic filled with barking, shouting, splintering wood. County, we're in! Attic access compromised. Suspect moved fast. Kid located, female, alive but bound. Pulling her down now. PD-18 injured but mobile. No eyes on suspect. Relief stabbed through Elena, hot and quick. 3 accounted for. 1 left. Then Highway's voice strangled. County, Beale just went limp. He's out cold. But before he dropped, he whispered one more thing. Elena's throat tightened. Say it. Highway's voice shook despite himself. He said, 45 is a fire if you're too late. At that exact moment, Trooper 3's panicked voice blasted across the channel. County, I've got eyes on the white sedan at 45, smoke coming from the trunk. The storm drowned the rest in a crack of thunder. Trooper 3, do not wait! Elena shouted into the mic, her voice cracking against the storm. Pop that trunk now! Confirm occupant! The channel erupted with chaos, metal striking metal, the hollow thud of a baton, grunts against resistance. Then the screech of hinges giving way. County, child located! Trooper 3's voice broke with adrenaline. Male juvenile, maybe 7, bound, he's coughing, conscious. Smokes from a gas can tip over in the trunk, fumes everywhere. I'm pulling him clear! Elena sagged forward in her chair, breath punching out of her chest. All 4, Maya, river girl, attic girl, gasoline boy. Alive. Battered but alive. She logged it with shaking fingers. All 4 juveniles recovered. But relief lasted only seconds. Highway's channel lit again. County. Beale's not breathing. EMS is still out. And his voice dipped, low and shaken. His pulse is still there. I swear it. But he's not breathing. He's whispering without air. Elena's skin crawled. Say again? He's whispering, dispatcher. Mouth shut, chest still. But I can hear it right here in my ear. Miles 41 and 43 are ours. But mile 45, that was hers. Klein's exhausted rasp broke in. Background chaos from the farmhouse behind him. County, attic girls secured. 18 stable. Suspect 2 fled, unknown direction. But if Beale's down and still talking, then the farmhouse line lit up again. Elena hesitated, throat dry, before answering. County 911. The gravel voice, unmistakable, filled her ear. Balance is kept. 4 children for 4 miles. But you broke a rule, dispatcher. You moved the board faster than you were supposed to. Her knuckles went white around the handset. Where are you? The voice chuckled, closer than ever, as if standing right behind her chair. You'll find me at mile marker 47. The line went dead, and outside the dispatch center, the storm cracked so violently the lights flickered, plunging her screens into darkness for half a breath. The fluorescents snapped back alive with a buzz, her screens rebooting in waves of blue glow. Elena blinked hard, forcing the dizziness away. Every console alarm was screaming. Open lines, priority flags, unit requests. But all she could hear was that last sentence, "You'll find me at mile marker 47. Her fingers flew. She typed a fresh entry, subject to, current threat. Possible location MM47. Klein, she called into TAC 2. Status? County attic girls secure. EMS en route. PD-18's banged up but holding perimeter. No visual on suspect. K9's restless, like he smells something, but nothing to track. Copy. She swallowed hard. Trooper 3, update on the boy from 45? Child stable, county. Medics have him. I'm staying with the vehicle until tow arrives. Hold there, Elena said. Do not redeploy yet. Highway cut in, voice hushed and jagged. County, Beals, changing. His skin's clammy, cold. Still cuffed, but his lips are moving. No sound, though I swear I can hear words, like they're inside my head instead of in the air. Elena pressed her palm to her forehead, willing clarity. Secure him tighter. No one alone with him. That's an order. Then the farmhouse line lit up again, but this time it wasn't the woman's voice, or a child's. It was a chorus, several voices, layered wrong, weaving in and out like an echo chamber. All roads lead to 47, they said together. Elena's hand hovered over the console, gooseflesh prickling her arms. Identify yourself. The voices laughed. Not loud, just amused, as if she were a child who had finally stumbled onto the edge of a rulebook she wasn't meant to see. County? Klein broke in, urgent. I've got units asking if we deploy to 47. What's the call? Elena looked at the wall map, the pins, the wet reflection of her own face in the glass. 47 was a blind stretch, no houses, no exits. Just trees pressing close on both sides, and a runoff culvert deep enough to drown a horse. If it was real. If it wasn't another stage piece set on the board. She forced air through her lungs, keyed up steady. All units, no approach to 47 until coordinated strike. Form perimeter at 46 and 48. I want that mile boxed in before anyone sets foot there. Copy, Klein said, but his voice carried the strain of a man who knew they were stepping into something built for them. The chorus came back one last time before the line cut, whispering so low she had to lean into the hiss to hear it. You can't box in a mile, dispatcher. It's already inside you. The room felt smaller, the dispatch centers hummed no longer fluorescent comfort but a kind of pressure, closing in. Elena rubbed her eyes hard, willing herself to focus on procedure, not poetry. Rules mattered even when the night mocked them. All units confirm staging, she said into TAC 2. Klein, Unit 12, stage north at 46 with K9. Trooper 3, stage south at 48. Highway, holding Beal at 41. He's still not right. Eyes open, not blinking. Elena typed each in her log, grounding herself in the rhythm of keystrokes. She glanced at the wall clock. 12:57 a.m. The worst hour. Her secondary board lit with another call, blocked again. She nearly ignored it, but habit overrode fear. County 911. This time, the farmhouse woman's voice. Thin, broken. I can still hear him. Even though your men are here. He's humming in my walls. How is that possible? He's not here anymore. Elena closed her eyes briefly. Ma'am, stay with the deputies. You're safe. No, the woman whispered. No one's safe. He left something behind. A rule. It's under the floorboards. It's still moving. The call cut. Before Elena could react, Highway came on, panicked. County, Beal's seizing. But Jesus, he's still smiling. Elena stood from her chair, headset cord taut. EMS is on your ETA. Keep him restrained. Do not loosen restraints, no matter what. Copy, but... Highway's mic picked up Beal's faint rasp, unmistakable though his chest wasn't rising. 47 is opening. At that exact moment, K9 went wild over Klein's mic, barking, whining, claws tearing at gravel. Klein swore. County, the dog's tracking something toward the culvert under the 47 bridge. Moving fast. I don't see it, but the dog does. Trooper 3, Elena snapped. Close from the south. No one enters culvert until backup converges. Copy, Trooper 3 said, engine roaring through the mic. Elena leaned into her screen, staring at the map. 47, a dead mile. Nothing there but concrete, runoff, and black trees. Unless... Her console buzzed again. Another child's voice. Not Maya, not the river girl, not Attic, not Trunk Boy. A fifth. It's dark where he put me, the little voice whispered. And the water's getting higher. The line went dead before Elena could speak. Her hand shook as she typed, fifth juvenile possible. Location unknown. Subject still active. The rules had changed again. The board was bigger than she thought. And out in the storm, the culvert at mile 47 began to roar louder than the rain, as though something beneath it was breathing. Climb! Do not enter that culvert! Elena snapped, louder than she meant to. Hold perimeter until all units converge. Suspect may be staging another victim inside. County, the K9's losing its mind. Klein shot back, breath ragged. He smells something in there. Water's high. If there's a kid inside. I said hold. Elena slammed her palm on the desk. You go in blind, you both drown. Trooper 3's engine roared over the net. I'm pulling up from the south. I've got eyes on the culvert mouth. Dog's right. Water's pouring out faster than it should. It's red, County. Looks like blood. Elena's stomach pitched. She turned to her secondary console, pulling up DOT schematics for the 47 overpass. Old drainage, double-barreled culvert, big enough for a man to crawl through. Perfect for hiding things no one was meant to find. Her phone board flared again, another blocked call. She clenched her jaw and answered. A child's sob. Please, it's so cold. Her throat tightened. Sweetheart, listen to me. Do you hear water? Do you feel it? Yes, the voice whimpered. It's up to my neck. He said if I scream, the water will finish me first. The line cut. Elena's hand hovered over her log, the letters blurring, fifth child confirmed. Flooding risk. Klein, she said, her voice stripped to its bones. Can you hear anything in that culvert? He paused. Only storm hiss came through. Then, faintly. Singing. County, someone's singing in there. Trooper 3's voice rose, urgent. County, I've got movement inside. Shadows, more than one. Not just a kid. Before Elena could answer, Highway's mic crackled alive from mile 41. County, Beale's awake again. His eyes are rolled white, but he's talking. Says, 5th mile is sacrifice. You'll trade one for the rest. Elena's chest constricted. 5 children. 2 suspects. 1 storm. And a mile that wanted blood for passage. Her hand shook as she pressed the transmit key. All units brace. We're at the edge of the rulebook now. As if in answer, the culvert roared louder, and over every open channel at once came the lullaby, sung in both suspects' voices, braided together. 5 little ones, the river takes. For you save, the 5th that breaks. The lullaby crawled across every frequency, seeping into Elena's headset like a current she couldn't shut off. She ripped the earpiece half off her ear and still it bled through, distorted by thunder and the roar of floodwater. Climb! She barked, forcing her voice steady. Confirm, do you see the child? His reply came over a backdrop of the K9's frantic barking. County, I've got reflection in the beam. Looks like a small face. God, she's right there, wedged against the grate. Water's nearly over her head. Elena's pen tore a groove into her log. 5th child, culvert grate, drowning imminent. Trooper 3, she snapped. Support from south side. Secure rope, lights. Do not lose footing. Copy, deploying line now. He shot back. But Klein's voice overlapped, louder, panicked. County, someone else is in there. Behind her. 2 eye-shine reflections. too high to be the kid. Moving toward me. The K9 snarled viciously, lunging. Water sloshed, boots scraped gravel. County, it's him. It's subject too, Klein shouted. He's in the culvert with her. Do not engage inside. Elena ordered, but her words were drowned by a crashing roar as floodwater surged through the culvert like a released dam. Klein's mic filled with chaos, dog yelping, men cursing, the thunderous bellow of water slamming concrete. Then Highway's strained voice cut in from mile 41. County, Beale's seizing again. He's choking out words between convulsions. One must sink for the rest to breathe. He keeps repeating it. Elena's stomach turned. Sacrifice. The rules weren't bluff. They were demands written into these men's theater of cruelty. She leaned close to her mic, her voice ablaze. Klein, listen to me. You do not trade lives. Pull that child free. Do you hear me? You do not let go. Klein's reply came ragged, punctuated by gulps of water. Trying, she's tangled in wire. God, she's fighting. Subject's hands are on her legs. Trooper 3 roared over the net, voice raw. I've got her arm. Pulling, Klein, now! There was a terrible, suspended moment of screaming water and straining men. Then, abruptly, a single cry, thin, human, alive. I've got her! Trooper 3 shouted. She's clear of the grate. She's coughing. The relief was short. Klein's mic went dead silent. No barking. No breath. Nothing. Klein, status! Elena demanded, her nails biting the transmit button. Unit 12, respond! Only the storm answered. Then Highway's voice came again, hollow. County, Beale's laughing. He just said one sinks. Elena's throat locked. Unit 12, respond! She screamed into the mic, though the line hissed back empty. Trooper 3 was gasping, voice ragged from exertion. County, I've got the girl. She's breathing, she's alive. But Klein, he went under. Dog's out paddling, but God, I don't see him. Elena's chair screeched against the tile as she half stood, headset cord taut. Deploy rope. Dive if you have to, but do not lose him. I'm trying. Trooper 3 panted. The current's ripping like a freight train. I can't get eyes. The farmhouse channel broke and then, a horrible overlap. PD back up on scene, frantic. County, farmhouse secure. Suspect still at large. We've cleared attic and crawl. Children accounted for. But there are markings everywhere, paint, scratches. Same phrase over and over. Elena pressed her palm to her forehead, fighting the nausea. What phrase? The deputy's voice shook. One sinks. Her vision swam. It wasn't just Beale's taunt. It was written into the walls like scripture. County. Highway's voice broke through from mile 41, low and haunted. Beale's out cold again. But the water around him. There's no water here, Elena, I swear. His cuffs are wet. And he whispered your name. Elena froze, the storm's static buzzing in her skull. Say again? He whispered it. Yours. Clear as day. Her own name sat heavy in the air of the dispatch room, thick and invasive. County! Trooper 3 bellowed, dragging her back. We've got Klein! Dog found him downstream. He's unconscious, head injury, but I've got a pulse. EMS en route. Relief flooded Elena's chest, immediate, overwhelming, but it was cut by another sound. A low, wet hum bleeding into every channel again. The lullaby. Only this time, it wasn't Beale's voice. Not subject to his either. It was Klein's. Faint, in the background of Trooper 3's mic, as the deputy knelt over his fallen partner, Klein's lips were moving with the storm, mouthing the rules. 5 little ones, the river takes. Trooper 3, confirm. Elena's voice cracked the net. Klein is breathing, not talking. Tell me that's just water in his lungs. Trooper 3's reply came frantic, overlaid with the dog's whines and the churn of medics scrambling. County, he's unconscious, eyes shut, but his lips are moving. I swear to you, he's singing under his breath. Elena's knees went weak. She pressed one hand flat to the console, steadying herself against the cold plastic. Get him restrained. I don't care if it looks insane. Cuff him, strap him, whatever it takes. He does not leave unsecured. Copy, Trooper 3 said, but the shake in his voice betrayed disbelief. From mile 41, Highway broke in, his words brittle as glass. County, Beale's gone. He was dead quiet for a stretch, then his body shifted. Like someone pulled strings in him. His restraints snapped against the chain. He just stopped. He's cold. Elena's heart hammered. Confirm, no pulse? No pulse, Highway whispered. But his eyes opened. White. And he said, the rule moves on. Her blood iced. At the farmhouse, PD backup chimed in, voices tense. County, we've searched every crawl and closet. No suspect. But these markings, there's more. They're numbers. Mile markers. 37 through 49, scrawled like a list. Elena's gaze snapped to the wall map. 37, the green sedan. 41, Maya. 43, the farmhouse. 45, the trunk boy. 47, the culvert. Each mile a grave marker in waiting. Her console shrieked again, blocked call. She answered, though her throat begged not to. This time, it was Klein's voice. Calm, steady, not ragged with drowning. You broke the rule, dispatcher. Her breath caught. Klein? No, the voice said. Not anymore. The line died, leaving her clutching the receiver like it might anchor her in a storm that was rewriting its own map. She typed with trembling hands. Subject 2 may have passed into Klein. Rules transferred. As if mocking her log, Klein's mic reopened on its own. His real body was still unconscious in Trooper 3's care, but over the channel came his voice, humming. The lullaby. Only this time, it carried new words, ones Elena had never heard. Sixth will call her name at last. Mile to mile, the spell is cast. Elena's skin prickled like frost beneath her uniform. She yanked her headset half off, but the lullaby still leaked faintly through the speaker on the console. Klein's voice, steady, unnatural. Trooper 3, she barked, fingers shaking over her keyboard. Confirm Klein's condition. Is he conscious? Is he speaking? Negative. Trooper 3 shouted over the chaos of medics working. He's out cold, pupils sluggish. He isn't talking, County, I swear. But his radio is transmitting without him. Elena's pen clattered to the floor. Radios didn't ghost like that. Not unless someone keyed them. Not unless something else had hands. County, PD backup at the farmhouse cut in, edgy. We've found more carvings, fresh, not weathered. It's a word this time. Scratched into every doorframe. Elena forced her voice calm. Say the word. The deputy hesitated, as though saying it aloud had weight. Elena. Her chest hollowed. On Highway's channel, Beale's corpse suddenly rasped through, impossible. He knows your name. He's moving to the 6th. Balance, dispatcher. Highway cursed, breath ragged. County, his mouth just moved. He's dead, but it moved. The farmhouse line lit again, no caller ID. Elena's trembling hand answered. A child's whisper, faint, almost swallowed by static. He said you're next. He said you have to follow the rules too. Her mouth went dry. Where are you, sweetheart? Tell me what you see. I see a chair, the child murmured. And wires. And a clock. It's ticking loud. A clock. Elena's eyes darted to her CD, her own console clock, glowing green, hammering toward 1:13 a.m. Her heart seized. The call wasn't out there. It was inside. Trooper 3, she shouted, panic cracking through her calm. Pull batteries from Klein's radio. Kill it now. Static screamed across every channel at once, drowning the net. And threaded beneath it, Klein's voice, too clear, too close. 6 miles not on the map. 6 miles where you sit, dispatcher. Her monitors flickered. For an instant, every red incident dot on the state map slid inward, collapsing until they pulsed over one location only, her dispatch center. The dispatch room lights dimmed to a jaundiced hum, monitors cycling like eyes opening and closing. Elena's reflection stared back from the black screens, fractured in shards of her own face. She clamped her headset tight, voice raw. All units, listen. Subject may be targeting dispatch directly. Secure your radios. No open mics unless confirmed. But the net was chaos. Trooper 3 panicked. County, Klein's rig is dead, batteries yanked, but the transmission didn't stop. It's still broadcasting on TAC 2. Highway horse. County, Beale's body is gone cold, but his voice is in my cruiser speakers. I shut them off and it's still coming through. PD backup. County, farmhouse clear, but every damn wall has your name carved into it. Every wall. Her console shrieked with another blocked call. Against every nerve screaming at her, Elena answered. It wasn't a child this time. It was herself. Her own voice whispered through the line, brittle and tired. You should have let one sink. That was the rule. Elena's breath hitched. Who is this? The double of her voice laughed softly. It's the mile you built. The mile no one marked. You made it when you refused balance. The line dropped. Elena spun to her wall map. 37 through 49, the carved range. Every mile had a story, a victim, a rule. But she'd broken it by saving them all. And now the 6th mile wasn't on the road at all. It was her. The storm slammed the building, rattling glass. The dispatch room door groaned as if something leaned on it from the hall. Her headset filled again, Klein's possessed murmur, clear as thunder. Open the door, dispatcher. The 6th mile waits. Elena rose from her chair, knees weak, eyes locked on the door as its metal frame began to bow inward. And from somewhere deep in the console speaker, layered over static, came the faintest news sound, children's voices. The ones she'd saved. All chanting in unison. One must sink. Elena staggered back, heart hammering against her ribs like it wanted out. The chant grew louder, overlapping the storm outside, until the whole dispatch center pulsed with children's voices. One must sink, one must sink. She slapped the transmit key, her own voice trembling but sharp. All units, check in. I need confirmation of status now. Trooper 3. County, girl from the covert stable, en route with EMS. PD backup. Farmhouse secure. Children accounted for. Highway. County, I don't know how to say this. Beale's body. It's still in my cruiser, but the restraints are wet again. His chest isn't moving, but water's dripping from his mouth. There's no water here. Elena's breath hitched. She looked at her clock, 1:21 a.m. The ticking matched the phantom child's call earlier. The chair. The wires. The clock. Her phone board flared, another anonymous call. Against her better judgment, she picked it up. It was the boy from the trunk, voice thready but firm. We're safe now, right? Yes, she whispered, clinging to the word. No, the boy said, voice suddenly hollow. Not until you follow the rules. The line filled with rushing water and went dead. Elena spun toward the door, still bowing inward, the hinges shrieking. She grabbed the panic button under her console, summoning in-house security, though she knew they'd never reach her in time. Her headset crackled, Klein's unconscious voice again, perfectly calm. Balance, dispatcher. You carried them all. Now the river carries you. The lights flickered. Her console screens blanked, then reignited with a single glowing message across every monitor, written in her own CD font. Mile 50, Elena. She backed against the map wall, breath ragged, as the door finally groaned open. Water seeped across the floor from the hall, rising fast, black with silt though the building was on high ground. And through that water, a reflection shimmered, not hers, but dozens of pale faces, children half-seen, their lips moving in perfect unison. One must sink. The flood surged toward her chair, lifting her logbook, toppling her coffee cup. And in her headset, the gravel voice and Klein's voice braided together, final and absolute. Dispatcher, your mile has come. The water was up to Elena's ankles now, icy and fast, though she knew, no floodplain reached the dispatch center. She pressed herself against the wall map, her gaze flicking across the pin miles. All those red dots that had once felt like data points but now pulsed like wounds. Her console kept hissing with overlapping channels. Trooper 3 distant. County, Klein stable vitals but still out. We've got him strapped. What the hell's happening in there? Highway panic. County, I can't stay by Beale's body. It's moving without moving. His shadow's not his own. I need direction. PD backup. Farmhouse perimeter holding. But we swear we heard a woman screaming your name from the tree line. Please advise. Elena couldn't bring herself to answer. The water was higher, tugging at her calves, carrying pens and scraps of paper in lazy circles around her chair. Her phone board lit again, blocked call. Against every screaming instinct, she answered. This time it was Maya, her small voice steady, almost serene. You did save us. But saving breaks the rules. That's why we're here. Elena's throat clenched. Maya, listen, don't let him use you. You're safe now. No, Maya said, a soft echo under the storm. We're part of the mile now. We can't leave until someone takes our place. The line cut, replaced by the mechanical tick of her own wall clock. Elena spun back to the console, jamming the transmit. All units, fall back to safe ground. Do not approach the dispatch center. Do you copy? Trooper 3. County, say again? Highway. Elena, what are you talking about? You're the one in danger. PD backup. County, do not isolate. We're coming to you. No! She screamed, startling herself. She steadied her breath, voice low and final. The rules want to sink. If you come here, the mile will take more than me. The water surged to her knees, dragging the chair into the corner. She pulled off her headset, holding it in both hands like a lifeline. For a moment, silence. Then, through the bare speaker, a whisper, her own voice again, layered with Beale's and Klein's, threaded by the children's chant. One must sink. It has always been you. The overhead lights snapped off, plunging the room into black. Only the glow of the CAD map remained, and on it every mile marker faded until one pulsed alone. Mile 50. Her name blinked beneath it. The water surged higher, rushing for her chest. Elena clutched the edge of the map board, breath tearing out of her chest as the water climbed to her waist. Papers, binders, a toppled headset floated around her like wreckage. The CAD screen's glow pulsed brighter, the words Mile 50, Elena throbbing like a beacon. Beneath it, a countdown appeared, digital, merciless, 00:59, 00:58. She gasped, slamming the transmit again. All units, listen to me. Do not breach the center. This isn't a suspect anymore, it's the mile itself. I won't let it take you too. Trooper 3. County, you're not making sense. We can be there in minutes. No! Elena's voice cracked. Minutes is all it needs. That clock is mine. The farmhouse line lit again. She answered on instinct. The attic girl's voice trembling. If you go under, we get to go home. Elena's throat tightened. Home where, sweetheart? A pause. Then, soft and sad. Where rules don't matter anymore. The call cut. The water surged to her ribs now, unnaturally cold, pulling at her legs like unseen hands. She stared at the countdown, 00:41. 00:40. Beale's corpse voice slid across Highway's channel, wet and gurgling. Tick-tock, dispatcher. You should have let one drown. And then Klein's unconscious radio crackled again, his voice smooth, controlled. Balance comes whether you choose or not. One must sink. Decide. Elena looked at her own reflection in the rising flood, fractured by ripples, dozens of her staring back. The children's voices layered in her head, chanting steady. One must sink, one must sink. She pressed her palms to the console, tears stinging. If the rules demanded balance, if the mile was written in blood and water, then maybe sacrifice could end it. Her eyes lifted to the countdown. 00:17. 00:16. She drew in a ragged breath, keyed the mic one final time. All units, tell Maya she was brave. Tell them all, they were brave. This ends with me. She dropped the headset into the black water. The countdown struck midnight. Every screen in the room went white, and the flood surged over her head. Silence. Then, static, sharp and searing, flooding the dispatch net. One by one, the units shouted in confusion. County, come back! Trooper 3's voice broke. Elena, do you copy? Highway. Dispatch is dark. Her channel's gone dead. PD backup. We just lost her beacon. All CAD feeds offline. County's gone. At the farmhouse, deputies swore they heard water rushing under the floorboards, though the ground outside was dry. At mile 41, Highway said Beale's corpse had dissolved into nothing but restraints biting air. At mile 47, Trooper 3 looked into the culvert and saw it empty. No child, no current, no blood. Only silence. And then, across every open frequency, Elena's voice returned. Not ragged. Not drowning. Calm. Even. Too even. All units, she said. This is county. The rules have been met. Balance is restored. A terrible pause. Trooper 3 whispered, That's not her. But the voice continued, smooth as glass. 4 children breathe. 1 officer lives. The miles are satisfied. The board resets. The farmhouse deputies swore the carvings on the walls. Her name gouged again and again. We're gone, replaced by blank wood. Highway said the restraints on Beale had unraveled into rusted wire. Trooper 3 reported that Klein stirred, breathing steady, no longer humming. And still the voice carried, broadcast across every radio, every scanner, every open line. Mile 50 belongs to me now. Stay clear of it, or the balance will start again. Then silence. The storm passed before dawn. The roads dried. The markers looked like any other stretch of asphalt. But in dispatch, Elena's chair sat empty, her headset tangled in dried coffee and water stains. The CAD logs ended with her last entry, frozen across the screen. Mile 50, Elena. And sometimes, when night traffic runs thin and radios fall quiet, a voice slips back across the net, soft, calm, and steady. County copy. And the clock in the center of the room ticks a little too loud, like it's counting down to the next mile. The official report written the next morning made no sense. System outage, 1:12 to 1:58. Possible surge. Dispatcher Elena Garcia missing. The captain signed it, stapled it, filed it. Like paperwork could dam a river that had no banks. But the deputies whispered their own reports. Klein swore he still woke in the night coughing up ditch water, even though the doctor said his lungs were clear. Trooper 3 said his cruiser radio clicked on by itself at exactly 1:13 a.m. every shift, a woman's voice asking softly, Unit status? Highway left the force altogether, but not before telling a rookie that mile marker 41 had changed. The paint brighter, the posts newer, like the road itself had replaced the bones. At the farmhouse, the woman tried to sell and move away. No buyers came. Everyone who toured it said the same. The air felt wet. And in dispatch, Elena's chair remained bolted to the floor. No one sat in it, though new hires tried. One rookie lasted 2 shifts before swearing the headset whispered her own name back to her when she keyed up. Another said the CAD screen blinked a log that wasn't hers, mile 51, her name. The board stopped assigning rookies to the night desk. Still, sometimes, in the worst storms, when the lines fill with static and the roads flood, someone hears her. A voice, steady, calm, too even. County 911, what's your emergency? And if you listen close under the rain, you'll hear the lullaby stitched in the silence behind her words, soft, patient, waiting for the next broken rule. Because the miles never end. They only move. And the map on the wall has room for many more pins. The county tried to move on. New shifts, new paint on the dispatch walls, a new digital clock installed above the whiteboard. No one mentioned Elena aloud, but her name lingered in the pauses, the way dispatchers glanced at her empty chair without meaning to. By autumn, the calls started again. The first came from a trucker at mile 42. "There's water on the road," he told the operator. "Like a sheet of it. My tires hissed through it, but the pavement was dry behind me. Dry like it never rained." Then, a week later, a college kid called from the farmhouse. "I know it's abandoned, but I saw lights upstairs," she whispered. "Like a woman at the window. She waved at me, and I swear, she had a headset on." And in December, Trooper 3, now promoted, put his cruiser in park on a midnight patrol. He radioed dispatch, voice steady. "County, copy of vehicle check at mile marker 50. Unoccupied sedan, hazard lights. Looks staged. Requesting plate run." But no one answered. Only a soft female voice came back across the net. "County copies. Balance is waiting." He slammed the radio off and refused to patrol that stretch again. The logs showed no call. The system showed no transmission. But when the tech team pulled the CAD data, they found one unsent entry blinking in the buffer. Mile 52, incoming. The chair at dispatch stayed empty. Yet every time the storm rose and the roads flooded, the headset coiled there seemed to shift on its own. And sometimes, if you stood too close, you'd hear it breathe. By spring, the veterans refused the graveyard shift altogether. "Let the rookies cut their teeth," they said, but everyone knew why. No one wanted to sit where Elena had vanished. The rookies lasted less and less time. One quit after a single shift, white as chalk, insisting the caller on line 3 was her own voice, crying for help from a ditch. Another stayed 2 nights before she swore the CAD map redrew itself in front of her. Mile markers shifting like pins dragged across wet paper, until only 50, 51, 52 blinked. The captain threatened suspensions for hysteria, but he stopped scheduling nights himself. Meanwhile, on the road, the rules continued. A farmer at mile 37 reported children's handprints smeared on his fog tractor windows, though no one was there. A deputy at mile 45 found a booster seat abandoned on the shoulder, pink plastic, buckle unlatched, still warm in the rain. And at mile 47, K9 units barked at culverts that ran dry, their handlers swearing they heard humming echoing from the concrete. Each time, dispatch logged it. Each time, the notes vanished from the system by morning. Except for one. A single log, unclaimed by any operator, locked in the buffer again. Mile 53, dispatch. The rookies begged the captain to delete it, wipe the system clean. He refused. "It's a glitch," he insisted. But when he tried to print the log for IT, the page came out blank, except for a single line scrawled across the bottom in handwriting no printer could mimic. "One must sink." The paper was damp, as though pulled from a river. They locked the page in evidence. "Plastic sleeve, chain of custody," signed 3 times over. Still, by the next morning, it was gone. In its place sat Elena's old headset, coils damp, microphone dripping onto the desk as though it had been submerged. The captain lost 2 more rookies that week. One simply walked out mid-shift, headset still humming with open line static, never to return. The other collapsed in tears after a call at 2:07 a.m., a child's voice whispering, "If you don't say my name, I'll drown." When they checked the playback, there was no recording. Just silence. The veterans kept their distance, but rumors spread. They said if you drove the stretch between mile 50 and 53 on a storm night, your odometer added miles that weren't there. That your headlights flickered not from rain, but from shapes crossing in front of you, wet shapes too small to be grown men, too fast to be children. Highway retired. He'd lasted longer than most, but in the end he couldn't ignore what followed him home, water dripping from the seams of his cruiser though the skies were clear, and the song that came through his kitchen radio at exactly 1:13 every morning. Klein stayed, though scarred and watchful, eyes hollow. He never spoke of what he saw in the culvert, only warned new deputies. "If you hear humming, don't answer. If you see a booster seat, don't stop. Some things are lures. But in dispatch, the empty chair remained. No one sat there, but it still shifted slightly when the storms rolled in, like someone unseen had leaned forward to take a call. And every so often, the CD system spat out another log. No operator keyed it. No printer claimed it. The latest blinked in red until someone tried to erase it, but it burned back onto the screen, stubborn and wet. Mile 54, your name. The console microphone keyed on by itself, transmitting dead air. Only it wasn't dead. If you leaned close enough, you could hear water. And a woman's calm voice beneath it all, steady as stone. County 911, what's your emergency? The log wouldn't clear. No matter how many times the text wiped the buffer, Mile 54, your name reappeared in the CAD system, dripping pixels down the screen like rain on glass. They finally cut power to the console, but when the monitors came back, the words were still there, brighter, as though the machine had wanted to survive the dark. The rookies whispered that it was an invitation. Not your name, as a placeholder. It meant literally you. Whoever sat the desk next. They tried leaving the chair empty. Nights passed with no one logged in, phones rerouted to a sister county. Yet calls still slipped through, phantoms, impossible. Line 1 would blink, though the board was offline, and a voice would answer itself. County, go ahead. The system recorded nothing. And still, every storm, another mile appeared. Mile 55, a trooper's badge number. Mile 56, the farmhouse address. Mile 57, a rookie dispatcher who quit the same night, swearing the system printed her obituary time-stamped hours ahead. Each entry came with water stains on the log paper, though the dispatch roof never leaked. The county board finally voted to shutter the building, to move dispatch to a new facility upriver. They locked the old center, stripped it of chairs and consoles, but Elena's headset they couldn't take. The cord was fused into the desk, metal melted though no fire had burned. Klein was the last one out. He swore he heard her voice behind him as he killed the lights. Unit 12, copy traffic. When the new center opened, clean and bright, the rookies felt safer. For a week. Then a call came in, routed clean through the new system, though the caller ID was impossible. Elena, Mile 50. A calm woman's voice answered herself. County 911, what's your emergency? And the CAD map blinked a new red dot, far beyond the county line. Mile 58. The miles were spreading. By summer, the new dispatch center's gleam had worn thin. The rookies carried shadows under their eyes, veterans traded shifts like bad bets, and every storm brought the same unease. Which mile would appear next? Mile 59 came during a thunderburst, scrawled across the CAD not in neat digital font but jagged letters like someone had dragged nails across the screen. The call paired with it was a whisper, faint but distinct. She's further now. She's pulling the map with her. The captain tried to have the system replaced. New CAD software, fresh servers, even a consultant from the state. The techs powered everything down, stripped cables, wheeled in shiny replacements. But when they booted the new system, the very first entry waiting in the queue was already there. Mile 60, Dispatch Center. No one spoke. One rookie quietly unplugged her headset, walked outside into the storm, and never came back. The farmhouse was bulldozed in August. They thought demolishing the structure would end the hauntings, but the deputies who guarded the site reported seeing blue porch lights still glowing at night, lights that had been torn down with the wiring. On some evenings, voices rose from the empty lot, humming the lullaby, weaving through the crickets. Highway, retired now, living states away, called his old captain, voice shaking. It followed me, he whispered. My new house is near mile marker 12. But last night the signs changed. It said 61, and I heard her voice in my baby monitor. The board convened emergency meetings. No one could agree if this was a haunting, a curse, or something stranger. Mile markers themselves infected, spreading like a disease along the roads. But the logs kept coming, no matter what they tried. Each new number etched itself in dripping red, indifferent to boundaries. The latest one, queued at 2:13 a.m., made every dispatcher who saw it go silent. Mile 62, all roads. When the captain leaned closer, squinting, he swore he saw water rippling behind the letters, like the map itself was under a flood, waiting to rise again. No one wanted the night desk anymore. They shuffled schedules, bribed rookies, even pulled in temp staff from neighboring counties. But the chair always seemed to end up empty when the clock ticked past midnight. Still, the logs appeared. Mile 63 during a clear night, no rain in sight. This time the CAD didn't just blink, it dripped, liquid running down the inside of the screen like it was filling from behind. The tech pulled the monitor apart in daylight, swore there was no moisture inside. Mile 64 came scrawled on the wall of the break room in marker no one owned. When they scrubbed it away, the numbers reappeared carved into the wood, as if written years ago. And mile 65, no one saw that one arrive. It was found at dawn, already typed into the shift log, signed with Elena's old operator ID. The captain tried to reason it down, tried to tell his people the rules weren't real. One must sink, that's a story, not a system. But the veterans knew better. Klein muttered that rules were rivers, they flowed, whether or not you believed in them. Then came the call that ended all debate. A trucker on the interstate, voice ragged, breath hissing through the CB patch-in. I just passed marker 66, but it wasn't green. It was black. Black posts, black numbers. And the road behind me is gone. I look in the mirror, and it's just water. The dispatcher on duty froze. Her hands shook as she typed. Mile 66, black marker. Road drowns. Seconds later, her line cut dead. They found her headset on the floor, cords soaked. But outside, the skies were clear. And by the time morning commuters drove that stretch, there was no marker at all. The mile had been erased. The CAD system, though, still pulsed with the entry. And beneath it, a fresh line appeared unbidden. Next, mile 67. Name required. The cursor blinked, waiting, like it expected someone in the room to volunteer. No one moved. The cursor blinked on the CAD screen, patient, insistent. Klein finally rasped. Don't touch it. That's how it takes you, when you name yourself. The rookies backed toward the wall, eyes wide. One whispered, what if it just fills in whoever's closest? The captain ordered everyone out, locked the dispatch floor, left the console humming alone in the dark. But in the morning, when he returned, the log had updated itself anyway. Mile 67, Captain R. Turner. Turner didn't come back to work the next night. His wife reported him missing before dawn. His car was found idling at mile 67, headlights cutting across blacktop that ended abruptly in a sheet of standing water. The seat was dry. The keys still warm. The board tried to bury it, called it medical leave, reassigned command. But the staff knew. The miles had learned their names. Next came mile 68. The log appeared during a lightning storm, typed letter by letter without a hand on the keys. Mile 68, all dispatch. The headset at Elena's old station keyed itself, transmitting across every frequency. Her voice. Calm. Even. Too even. Balance isn't held by roads anymore. It's in the voices. Every call you take, every mile you mark, you're moving the river closer. The veterans froze, listening. The rookies wept. Klein whispered into the silence. It's not counting roads now. It's counting us. On the CAD map, the red pins bled outward, filling not just State 19, but every road branching off it, multiplying like veins under skin. And at the bottom of the screen, new text scrolled on its own, steady and endless. Mile 69, dispatcher. Mile 70, responder. Mile 71, listener. The cursor blinked once, waiting for the next name. And then, through every radio, every console, every dead headset in storage, came the soft chant of children's voices. One must sink. Who will it be? The chant threaded through every channel, not just dispatch. Volunteer fire radios sparked alive in empty garages. EMT rigs idled in their bays, sirens warbling half a note before dying out again. Even the sheriff's scanner at home spat static shaped like children's whispers. One must sink. One must sink. The rookies begged to quit mid-shift. Some tore off their headsets and fled the building, swearing the wires were warm, like veins pulsing against their skin. Klein stayed, jaw locked. He keyed up to the phantom transmission. You already tried to take me, he growled into the dark. If balance is blood, then use mine. Leave the rest. The answer came not in Beale's rasp or Elena's echo, but in dozens of tiny voices at once. Not you, not now. The rule is turn-taking. The mile is waiting. And the CAD updated by itself. Mile 72, Dispatch Center. The captain's replacement, a weary lieutenant, ordered a full evacuation. But before anyone could move, the phones lit all at once. Line 1 through 8. All blocked ID. All ringing in perfect sync. The bravest rookie picked up line 1. County 911, she said, voice trembling. 8 children's voices answered in chorus, her voice threaded among them. We've already chosen. The flood hit then, not from outside, but from beneath. Water burst through floor vents, black and reeking of silt, dragging papers and pens across the tiles. The red pins on the map wall popped loose, clattering as if the miles themselves were drowning. Klein shouted for everyone to get out. The rookies scrambled, but when they reached the door, the glass was a wall of rushing current. Not rain. Not river. Just endless dark water pressing from the other side. The CAD screen blinked again. Mile 73, a name required. The cursor pulsed, waiting. And from Elena's old headset, coiled on the empty chair, came her calm, impossible voice. One of you must type it. No one moved. The rookies huddled against the back wall, soaked to the knees in the rising black water. The lieutenant's face was pale, jaw trembling as he stared at the CAD screen. The cursor blinked like a heartbeat, patient, hungry. Klein stepped forward, water lapping at his thighs. Don't touch it, he warned. His voice was raw, low. That's the trade. Whoever gives it a name, that's the one who sinks. But the headset on Elena's empty chair keyed itself, microphone hissing. Her voice slid out, steady as ever. If you refuse, the mile chooses for you. The rookies whimpered. One whispered. It already knows us, it has our names. The lieutenant cursed under his breath, then shoved his way through the water to the console. His hand hovered over the keyboard, knuckles white. Better me than. The CAD screen flickered, cutting him off. New text crawled across without his touch. Mile 73, Lieutenant J. Harris. He froze. I didn't. The water surged up his chest. His eyes went wide as invisible hands dragged him downward. The others screamed, clawing for him, but the current pulled fast, wrapping him in black silt, swallowing him into the floor as though the tiles had liquefied. The headset hissed again. Elena's voice. Balance restored. The water stilled, dropping back to the ankles of those who remained. The CAD screen went blank, only the cursor left, pulsing like a vein. Klein stared at the empty space where Harris had been. His breath came ragged, his lips moving soundlessly before he finally spoke. It's not going to stop. The rookies clung to each other, shivering, whispering prayers, watching the cursor blink. Then new text scrawled across the screen. Mile 74, dispatcher on duty. The rookies gasped, eyes snapping to Klein. And from every console speaker, from every abandoned headset, the children's voices rose again, sweet and merciless. One must sink, choose again. The room trembled with the weight of silence. The rookies pressed themselves against the wall as if their spines could fuse with cinderblock. The water at their ankles rippled in tiny, deliberate circles, as though something below the surface was breathing. Klein stood at the console, every inch of him soaked. His service belt sagged with the weight of water, the holster at his hip dripping steady. He locked his gaze on the glowing words, Mile 74, dispatcher on duty. I won't, he growled under his breath, jaw grinding. I've given enough. The CAD screen flickered, lines of static spilling across the map until the roads bled away. replaced by a pulsing white circle. The cursor blinked in the center, patient, demanding. The rookies whispered among themselves, voices too high, too brittle. It wants him. It means him. But Klein shook his head. No. That's the trick. It writes your name and you give it power. If no one types it, if no one accepts, then maybe. His words faltered. He'd seen enough nights of broken rules to know hope was a dangerous lie. The headset on Elena's empty chair hissed, the cord snaking across the desk like it was alive. Her voice bled through the static, calm, precise. Balance is a river. You cannot dam it, only decide where it breaks. The water surged an inch higher, chilling bone. A pen floated past one of the rookies, bobbing like a fishing lure. She reached for it instinctively and froze when the water pulled it under, as though something snatched it from below. Don't touch it, Klein barked, his eyes never leaving the screen. The cursor blinked. Then, without hands on the keys, letters began to form. K-L-I-N-E. The rookies gasped. One screamed, clapping her hand over her mouth. Klein's throat tightened, breath strangled in his chest. He slammed his palm against the monitor, smearing water across the glass. No! He roared. Not me! But the text finished itself, glowing bright and final. Miles 74, Klein. The water exploded upward, grabbing his legs, dragging him toward the chair as though the building itself demanded he sit. He fought, clawing at the console, but Elena's voice rose above the chaos, soft and unyielding. Balance restored. The chair rocked once. Then Klein was gone. Only the rookies remained, and the cursor kept blinking. The rookies stood frozen, soaked to their thighs, staring at the empty chair where Klein had been swallowed. The headset sat crooked on the desk now, cord twitching like a tail, its microphone bent toward them. The CD map rebooted itself, white flashed to black, then back again, like a heart restarting. New text appeared, deliberate and slow. Miles 75, room remaining. What does that mean? One rookie whispered, hugging her arms to her chest. It means us, another croaked, her lips trembling. It doesn't want one anymore. It wants all of us. The room groaned. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, their buzz warping into a faint hum, the lullaby, bleeding into the wires. The water rippled in rhythm with the song, each wave a syllable. The rookies clutched each other, sobbing. We can't fight it, we can't. The console speakers popped. Then a chorus of children's voices threaded through, layered and sweet. One must sink, or all will drown. The rookies fell silent. Their eyes darted between each other, then back to the screen. A choice. The Miles weren't demanding all of them yet. Only that one of them submit, or else the river would claim the rest. The youngest rookie, barely 20, shook her head violently. No! I didn't sign up for this, I can't. The water surged higher, waist deep now, tugging at their legs. Furniture shifted, a chair floating past them. The map pins rattled against the wall, some dropping into the flood and vanishing as if sucked under. Another rookie whispered, It's Elena, she wants one of us to take her place. The headset lifted from the desk, hovering just above the empty chair. Its microphone angled toward them, as though choosing. The CAD screen blinked again, cursor waiting. The letters began to type, slow and damning. Miles 75. Then it paused. The cursor pulsed, waiting. The water climbed to their ribs. They could feel its pull. Something beneath it breathed, patient. And from the headset, Elena's calm voice. One of you must decide, or the mile will. The rookies clung to each other, their bodies trembling against the cold water now lapping at their ribs. The cursor blinked on the CAD screen, pulsing like a vein. Miles 75. It waited empty, hungry. One of them, Anna, the senior among the three, stepped forward, face pale but jaw clenched. If it takes all of us, no one gets out. But if one goes, maybe the rest survive. The youngest rookie shook her head violently, tears streaking her wet cheeks. No! You don't know that. It lied before. It always lies. Anna's eyes locked on the floating headset. No. The rules don't lie. The rules are the only truth it has. The water churned beneath them, swirling like a drain. The hum of the lullaby pressed against their ears, its rhythm tugging at their pulses. Anna moved to the console, each step against the current dragging her down. She reached for the keyboard. The headset hissed. Elena's voice filled the room. Balance is choice. The river only claims what is given. Anna's fingers hovered over the keys. She whispered, "I'm sorry," to the others. Then she typed her name. Mile 75, Anna Reyes. The moment the last letter appeared, the water exploded upward, wrapping her in a whirlpool. She gasped once, then vanished beneath the flood. The headset clattered back onto the desk, limp. The water stilled. It fell back to their ankles as quickly as it had risen, leaving the rookies panting in shock, their clothes clinging heavy to their skin. The CAD screen cleared, the map glowing faint again. For a moment, silence. Then new text appeared. Mile 76, witnesses. The remaining 2 rookies screamed. One bolted for the door, hammering at the metal frame, though outside was only the roar of impossible water pressing against the glass. The other fell to her knees, sobbing. The speakers hissed again, Elena's voice calm, inevitable. The river remembers. Those who watch must carry it forward. The cursor blinked once. Twice. And then the next mile appeared. Mile 77, listener. The words sat on the screen, glowing in wet, dripping text. Mile 77, listener. The rookies froze. Neither spoke. Neither dared breathe too loud. The cursor pulsed at the end of the word as if waiting for one of them to claim it. Then the console speakers came alive again, not with Elena's calm cadence, but with a dozen small voices, the children they had all saved and failed and traded away. They spoke in unison, whisper soft. One hears the rules. One must sink. The rookie kneeling on the floor clamped her hands over her ears, sobbing. No, I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't. I'm not the listener. The other, still at the door, stared at her. Slowly, her horror shifted into realization. It's you. It's already chosen. The kneeling rookie shook her head so violently her wet hair snapped against her cheeks. No! I won't listen! But the room disagreed. The walls groaned, their hum growing louder, shaping itself into the lullaby. Even through her palms, even through her own desperate screams, the song forced its way in. She clutched her head and wailed. The CD typed on its own. Mile 77, Rookie Dispatcher L. Collins. She convulsed, dragged upward this time, water curling like a column, pulling her toward the ceiling. Her screams pitched into gargles, into silence, then nothing. The water fell back to the floor, flat and calm. Only one rookie remained. She pressed against the door, shaking, her eyes wild. I'm not a witness, I'm not a listener. I didn't choose this. Please! The headset crackled once more. Elena's voice was quiet, almost tender. Every mile takes a name. And when there are no names left, it takes the one who reads. The CED flickered. Mile 78 U. The surviving rookie stared at the word, realizing it didn't mean her. The letters pulsed, slow and deliberate, as though reaching past her, through the screen itself. Toward the one watching. Toward the reader. Mile 78 U. The word pulsed, dripping light into the water pooled around the last rookie's boots. She stared at it, trembling, whispering, It's not me! It's not me! Her voice cracked into a sob. The cursor blinked once. Twice. Then a line of text appeared beneath it. Do you see it? The rookie whimpered and shook her head, pressing her back against the locked door. I don't see anything. I'm not. But the words weren't for her. They shifted, skewed across the CAD screen, letters reorienting like a compass turning. Do you see it? Her eyes went wide as she realized the screen wasn't glowing at her anymore. It was glowing through her, angled beyond her body, as if addressing a presence over her shoulder. Something unseen. Something reading. The console speakers hissed. Elena's voice seeped out, calm as ever. Every mile widens. Every mile finds new roads. If you see it, you are already on it. The last rookie collapsed to her knees, rocking, sobbing incoherently. She didn't notice as the water stilled to glass, a perfect reflection forming around her. In its dark surface, there weren't one of her, but two. One of the reflections blinked a heartbeat too late. She screamed. The CAD typed again, unhurried final. Miles 79, reader. The fluorescent lights overhead cracked and burst, plunging the dispatch center into darkness. The only glow came from the CAD screen, casting its pale reflection outward like a mirror turned the wrong way. The rookie was gone. No splash, no cry. Only silence. And in that silence, the cursor pulsed, waiting. The speakers hummed a lullaby once more, but softer this time, as if crooned not to the empty room, but to you. The dispatch center was empty now. Chairs drifted like corpses in the ankle-deep water, maps sagged from the walls, pins long since washed away. Only the CAD screen glowed, its cursor a slow heartbeat. Miles 79, reader. The word pulsed brighter, brighter still, until it was hard to look at. The cursor moved again, typing without hands. One must sink. The speakers came alive with the children's chant, layered and endless. One must sink, one must sink. Their voices weren't in the room anymore. They pressed against your skin, threading through your own pulse, as though they were inside your blood. The text scrolled. If you are reading, you are hearing. If you are hearing, you are counted. The water in the dispatch center rippled, though no one was there to disturb it. The reflection on its black surface no longer showed empty chairs, it showed you. Watching. The lullaby rose again, Elena's calm voice woven into the chorus. Balance is broken. For we're saved, one should have sunk. That debt moves forward. Every witness carries it. The CAD screen smeared with static, then redrew itself as a map once more. But it was no longer county roads and mile markers. Now the map stretched wider, roads you know, roads you've driven, roads you trust. And each one began to bloom with red dots. Mile 80. Mile 81. Mile 82. The cursor pulsed, waiting, as the screen whispered in its wet font. Mile 83, your turn. A silence deeper than the storm followed, pressing heavy on the ribs. The water lapped at the base of the console, as if it could spill outward through the glow of the screen itself. The headset, coiled in the empty chair, rose just slightly, an invitation, a dare. And from it, Elena's voice, quiet and inescapable. Do you see the river yet? It's under your feet. The cursor blinked, each pulse echoing like a heartbeat too close to your ear. Mile 83, your turn. The dispatch floor was gone now, or maybe it had never been real at all. The glow of the CAD map spread outward, swallowing walls, stretching highways in every direction until they bled into roads you recognized, roads you've taken, signs you've passed. The red pins multiplied, spilling like drops of blood across the glowing grid. They spread down the interstates, into neighborhoods, even along the thin gray lines of rural backroads. And then further still, into the streets that shouldn't be on the map at all, but now are. The lullaby hummed through the speakers, though no speakers remained. The sound was in the wires of the world itself, in the steady tick of the nearest clock. Elena's voice wove into the song, calm and certain. Every witness extends the mile. Every reader holds it open. Balance widens until it finds a name. The water reached the chair again, though now it didn't belong to dispatch. It belonged to your room, your floor, your space. You feel the dampness, smell the silt that doesn't belong. On the CAD map, new text scrolled. Mile 84, reader's room. The cursor pulsed. A drip echoed. Somewhere nearby, something wet tapped against your wall. Or maybe it was just in your head. The children's voices returned, dozens of them, overlapping, sweet and merciless. One must sink. One must sink. One must sink. The headset on the empty chair flickered back into view. Its cord stretched impossibly long, snaking through the map, reaching outward. Its microphone tilted, not toward the vanished dispatchers, but toward you. The cursor typed one more line. Mile 85, name required. And then it stopped, pulsing, waiting. Mile 85, name required. The cursor blinked, patient, steady, as if it could wait forever. The glow of the CAD screen illuminated the water at your feet, water that hadn't been there before. It seeped across the floorboards, cold and black, bringing with it the faint smell of river rot. The headset cord slithered closer, impossibly long, its coiled wire dragging across tile that was no longer part of dispatch. It crossed into your space, bridging map and mile. The children's chant returned, soft and sing-song, closer now. Name, name, give a name! One must sink to end the game. The reflection in the water rippled. It wasn't the room around you anymore. It was the dispatch center again, empty except for that single chair. Only this time, the reflection was reversed. You weren't looking into it. It was looking out. Elena's voice whispered, not through speakers, not through wires, but through the pulse in your own throat. Every reader widens the circle. Every circle needs a center. Give the mile a name, and balance will hold. The CD screen scrolled. Failure to provide a name will result in default. Default equals reader. The cursor pulsed brighter, brighter still, until the light pressed behind your eyes. In the water's reflection, the empty headset rose from the chair and hovered, waiting. Its microphone extended toward you like a finger accusing. The children laughed gently, as though this was a game only they understood. One must sink. Choose or be chosen. The cursor typed a final line, urgent now, dripping, letters smeared like wet paint. Mile 86, last offer. The room, or was it the story itself, fell still. Waiting for a name. Waiting for yours. Mile 86, last offer. The cursor blinked, white-hot against the black map. The water had risen again, now pulling against your calves, pulling at you with a slow, patient current. It wasn't rushing anymore. It was coaxing, persuading, like a tide that knew it had all the time in the world. The headset cord scraped closer, dragging across unseen tiles, microphone angling up toward your face. A faint hiss leaked from its speaker, breathing. Not mechanical, not static. Human. Elena's voice emerged, steady, inescapable. The river does not forget. 4 were saved when only 3 should have lived. One must sink for balance. The choice is yours, or the choice is made for you. The CAD screen shifted again. The map zoomed outward until the county dissolved, the state blurred, and only a vast dark expanse of roads remained. Red pins erupted everywhere, multiplying like an infection, each labeled in dripping text. Mile 50. Mile 60. Mile 72. Mile 83. The pins pulsed like wounds, their light bleeding through the map until it formed a single word across the roads. Your name. The children's voices rose again, higher this time, echoing from the water, from the headset, from inside your chest. Name the mile. Name the mile. One must sink. The reflection beneath you rippled, and for the first time, you saw not the dispatch center, but your own face staring up, pale, wet, lips already mouthing the lullaby. The cursor moved again. If you will not give a name, the river will take one. The water surged an inch higher, lapping at your knees. Cold, heavy, dragging. The headset hissed louder, microphone close enough now that you swore you felt its breath. The text burned onto the CD screen. Mile 87, decision. The cursor pulsed. Once. Twice. And the voices all fell silent, waiting for what comes next. Mile 87, decision. The cursor blinked brighter with every pulse. The silence was unbearable, thick, pressing in on your skull. No children's laughter now, no lullaby, no Elena. Just the weight of waiting. The water lapped at your thighs, pulling harder with each swell, as though the river below was impatient. In its black surface, your reflection mouthed words you hadn't spoken. One must sink. The headset cord brushed against your shoulder. The microphone hovered near your ear, and you felt, not heard, Elena's breath. The CD screen cracked with static. Letters smeared across the map, jagged, urgent. Final warning. Balance demands a name. No name equals your name. The cursor trembled, jittering like a heartbeat about to flatline. The water surged suddenly, rushing up to your waist. It was no longer calm. It was pulling, dragging, teeth of the current biting into your legs. Beneath it, something shifted, hands, dozens of them, pale and small, brushing your skin. The children. They weren't pleading anymore. They were waiting for your fall. The reflection changed. It wasn't just your face. It was Elena's, Beale's, Klein's, every name the miles had taken, layered one over another, their mouths open in unison, whispering the same demand. One must sink. One must sink. One must sink. The headset screeched, sharp as tearing metal. Elena's voice returned, calm but final. The river has chosen. Mile 88 begins. The CAD filled with new text dripping red. Mile 88, reader. The cursor froze. The water yanked harder, cold iron hands gripping your ankles. The reflection surged upward, faces lunging toward you through the surface. And in the instant before the pull became absolute, the screen flickered one last time. Mile 89, sink. Mile 89, sink. The words burned across the CAD map, dripping scarlet light into the rising flood. The water seized your waist, chest, throat, dragging with irresistible weight. It wasn't water anymore. It was the river, the rule itself, black and endless. The reflection shattered. Faces clawed upward, Elena's calm gaze, Klein's hollow stare, Beale's crooked grin, the wide-eyed children. Their mouths moved in unison, the lullaby spilling from them like a tide. Hush now, little one must sink. The headset clamped to your ear, impossibly heavy, cord tightening like a noose. Elena's voice whispered through it, so close it could have been your own breath. Balance is kept. You are the mile now. The CAD screen flickered furiously, lines of text spilling faster than you could read. Mile 90, closed. Mile 91, sealed. Mile 92, complete. The cursor pulsed, then stopped. The flood swallowed you whole. Cold pressure crushed your chest, the chant drilling into your skull until it was all you were. Hands dragged you down deeper, deeper, yet there was no bottom, only the endless black river of rules. Your last sight of the dispatch center was of the empty chair, headset coiled neatly on the desk, waiting for the next shift. The water erased it all in silence. And then, stillness. The map went dark. No miles remained. For the first time in uncounted nights, the CAD was blank, the cursor still. But in the quiet, a clock began to tick. Once. Twice. Each beat louder than the last. On the dark screen, a single line reappeared. Mile 93, to be continued.